I'm pre-seduced.
So yeah, we were supposed to have the meeting early today, and James fucked it up. And now we're just me and Eric waiting for him.
Yeah, we're gonna shit talk him.
Go ahead, sorry.
No. Please.
I wonder what happened to him. He said his bus is 20 minutes late, but then he said, I fucked everything up. So I wonder, did he just misread the timing, the time sheet or whatever? Yeah.
Maybe he thought today was Saturday.
Maybe, yeah. But then again, the bus, I remember when they used to take the bus in those dark days. Usually the weekend schedule, Saturday and Sunday, is the same, right? Isn't it? Isn't there weekend schedule than weekday schedule?
I think so.
Unless they changed it, yeah.
I rarely took the bus because I always thought it was the hardest thing to try to read.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like, I feel like I couldn't get chart. Well, I feel like I couldn't get any definite info, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you're by one of those things, but if you're not, like, trying to Google it always seemed like impossible.
Yeah.
I don't know if they made it hard to search on purpose around here, but I felt like I always had the worst time.
Yeah, and it sucks because if it says like if you have a little chart where you can look online now and stuff, but especially back in the day they didn't have that. I think only you had to have the little booklet or pamphlet, and if it says even now if it says 7:45, it almost definitely isn't coming 7:45. Yeah. It'll come like 7:40, 7:50. 7:35. Yeah. So
they're definitely not coming on time.
So that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I remember when they were supposed to come on, but or some of them, like the one that passes on Frankie Rogers. So I used to take that to the old studio, and then sometimes it'd be, do I wait or do I just walk the 40 minutes and will that
right?
And then like would that be worth traveling like the few remaining blocks, like whatever?
Yeah, I used to do stuff like that too. I can't believe how much time I wasted and like not having a car over the years. You know, all that misery of walking in the cold and the shitty weather and the awful waiting in the corners and like freezing and sweating and all that.
Yeah, walking sucks. Yeah. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah,
it sucks. Thank God for cars. I mean, we can survive better in the city. Yeah, I guess this is city, like, in a sense, you know. We got, there's, like, corner stores that were, like, you really don't need to go more than you need to anymore. Yeah. Especially, like, Amazon, too, on top of it. Yeah. You definitely don't need, like, a car like you used to, but it still sucks, like, not having it.
Yeah, you can get by, but it takes so much more time. Like, if there's a train station near my, like, right by my job, but if I took that, it would double, maybe even triple my commute, you know? Mm-hmm. That would suck, yeah. James just said that we can start without him, but I want to ask him where you are, where do you have?
PG2.
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I figured that somebody would fuck it up.
That's pretty good.
You were good, so I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
But yeah, honestly, I figured, I don't know. I guess I have something that fucks stuff up like that too. I think whenever there's a change in the routine, there's a lot of room to fuck things up. Yeah. And I've done that stuff too, I guess. But I guess it's to be expected. Or it's not unlikely.
Might be a good excuse though. Maybe there's a good story behind it.
I think like the story is just he was careless. That's the story.
I guess if he fucked up.
He's in Linkers in the Uber.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
It wouldn't be bad if it wasn't 8-11. Yes, it's not like the end of the world, but yeah.
No, it's close to it though. 10 steps away.
Damn. I'm gonna put my money on he was careless. What are you gonna put your money on?
Careless in what sense though? There's a lot of room for.
He didn't properly look at the times. He just glanced at it and he's like, whatever, I guess it's this time. I guess I'll just go there at that time.
Yeah, I think he looked at the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And then he didn't think of it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Is that the same thing? Or are we both
saying
the same thing?
Yeah, you're just saying it in a nicer way.
Okay, so we're going to put our money there.
Okay.
What happens if we both lose? There's nobody we're betting against. We're both agreeing to the same thing.
So
That's not a good bet.
Yeah.
It's just an agreement.
Yeah.
That bet ends in a handshake.
Did you do anything cool yesterday?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I took some...
performance enhancers?
Yeah, I took some performance enhancing drugs.
Nice.
And so I was I was gonna do my day. I was gonna have some nice days, but shit got fucked up. On Friday, because normally we go to band practice and we'll have Indian food. That was our normal routine.
Okay.
So I've been craving Indian food now because we haven't done the Friday practice thing in a while.
Oh, you guys haven't been doing it?
Well, this week we didn't go to practice because Ian couldn't make it.
Also, you decided not to go with the spirit child?
Yeah, I just took the time off. Okay. And then the week before we did like Thursday, so we didn't eat.
Oh, okay.
So it had been like a bit since I had Indian food, so I had cravings. So I was hitting people up if they wanted to go eat. And then I asked Moesha.
Okay.
Because she's the only other person I know that really likes Indian food.
Right.
So I'm like, I could eat it alone, I don't mind. But
right.
If I kind of rather go out and eat at a place.
You'd rather do it with someone?
Yeah, I don't want to eat alone.
It's kind of. I mean, I feel like it's socially unacceptable to eat alone at a restaurant.
Yeah,
I've done it, but it is.
It's
awkward.
pathetic when you're like. Well, it's pathetic in like that kind of restaurant.
Yeah, people look at you like somebody stood you up or something.
Yeah, I don't mind doing it farther away, but this is close to home turf, so I don't want to be pathetic within like a 5-mile radius of my house. So I invited her, but I invited some other people too. And then my friend is like, "Oh, it's like, who are you kidding? You guys are just gonna fuck afterwards." And I was like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And then I immediately told Moesha, I was like,
we're just eating.
No, because I think she wanted to do something. I was like, yeah, I just want to go home and I got like stuff to do and I want to go like grocery shopping. I was like, I'm gonna go I have nothing else to do because it's Friday night. I was like, I'm gonna go grocery shopping because like ShopRite's dead, and I can just go in, get like a little bit high, just buy my shit, and just leave, and it'll be a perfect transaction. I don't have to deal with like anybody.
Right.
And then I'm gonna like do some other stuff around the house because I was planning on yesterday, to do the thing and have like the house like perfectly ready because I had someone over on Thursday.
Okay.
And then like immediately the house becomes like a mess after having someone there, and it's like, how does this happen? Like we didn't do anything, and that there's like stuff all over the place. So like I had to like clean up.
Was it a girl?
No, it was my buddy that I always smoke with. But I was like, I need some time alone still, but I also want to smoke. So I was like, what's up?
Okay.
So yeah. So I wanted to set up the house on Friday for Saturday, basically. Okay. So what was he here?
5 minutes, he said.
Okay. So what the hell was I talking about? So
Indian food.
Yeah, so nobody else wound up getting Indian food, and I told her, I'm gonna do all this and that.
So you just went with her to get Indian food?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, okay, I'll go home then, and blah, blah, blah. She's gonna like watch a horror movie, because it's like Friday the 13th or something like that.
Okay.
So we go eat Indian food, everything's fine, it's good. And then I go to drop her off, and she had mentioned before, because I gave her like the vape pen now. Like, she had lost hers, so she's been hinting at me to like get her one, but I haven't, because like you can get one yourself. You're an adult now. Yeah. You know what I mean? I showed you the ways already. It's like, I already gave you one. It's like if you lost it, like it's kind of on you now. I'm not gonna get you a new one.
Yeah.
It's past that line. So I was like, you want a hit though? So she took a hit, and I forgot. But it's like these new pens. These new pens are pretty
intense.
Potent. Yeah. So she took a hit, and then it was fucked up because I was pulled over in like an illegal parking spot. It was all illegal, and then there was two entrances to it was a driveway lot, and I was between the two of them. It was an illegal spot, so I pulled in there and I had my hazards because it was right across from my house. And then as she's getting out from behind, like another car like pulls in like right behind her, also illegally.
Oh shit!
It's like a busy street she's trying to cross, and this guy's like just came out of nowhere for some reason, and she's like trapped in the middle, so she was like frogging out.
Okay.
Whatever. And then I'm driving, I'm like, alright, cool, I'm going home. And then she calls me, and she's like, I'm freaking out, like something, blah blah blah.
Oh,
and
shit.
Basically, it's like at the end of the day, like I turned around and I went back to like hang out with her until she like calmed down. And like I hung out there, and then like we walked her dog a bit, and then I didn't want to like stay there, so I was like, you want to just come back, because then we just like hang out and not have to be here in your house with your dog and shit. And it's like I feel like I can't like relax, and I don't want to be there. I wanted to be home. this whole time. I'm kind of bummed out because I want to go shopping and all that shit.
Right.
So I bring her back, and then I forgot what we were doing. Oh, then she just like, we went to my room and I was like rolling a blunt, and she was just like hanging out, like doing whatever. I had like music playing.
Did she calm down?
Yeah, she was like calming down.
Did you sleep with her?
Yeah, eventually. Eventually it came to that. It was really good.
Do you think she lied?
I don't know. Now do I want to think that she's that conniving?
That's a good story.
Because she felt kind of okay. It's like, I came back to this. It's not like she was freaking out, you know.
She seemed fine?
She seemed a bit like buggy, but it didn't seem more than like regular stoner buggy, you know. It's like, maybe I could have talked her out of it. I didn't have to like go back.
Out of one hit?
Yeah, but she's
a newbie?
Yeah, she's basically a newbie. And this has happened before when like she smoked like a little bit and she got like crazy high for a long time. Where, like,
maybe it doesn't agree with her or something.
Yeah,
it's not good for her specifically.
Yeah, maybe. Or she just like, it's too much. So she's been okay with smaller hits before, you know. She's done it like by herself, but I guess that was just too much and unexpected.
So did you sense that she was pretending, or did you sense that it was legit?
No, it felt like real.
Okay.
But
you still have some doubt that maybe she's that
conniving? Deep down inside there's always that thought where it's like, is she doing this for real? Is this really her? Is this a ploy to get what she wants? So I was like, I don't know. But anyway, next day, Saturday, I had to go to the DMV to get my car. Like, since it failed inspection, I had to go back and redo it by the end of this month. But so I went early in the morning. By the time I got there, it was almost 8. And then the line was already coming out halfway down the block, so I just turned around. I was like, fuck this. I was like, there's no way I'm waiting this long. Because last time, that line was about the third of the size at around the same time. So I was I'm not doing this right now. So I was like, let me just go food shopping. So I went food shopping in the morning. I got all my shit.
And then you did it?
And then I went to Bagel House. And then I went back home, and she was still there. And I was like, yo.
You left her at your house?
Yeah, I left her there. And I was like, what? And then,
did you sleep with her again?
No. If she would have stayed longer, I might have. You know, especially under the effects. But,
so she went home?
I told her to open the door. And she comes out, she like half opens it. And then I'm like, I have all this shit in my hands. Like, what the fuck, dude? And then she was like still naked. I'm like, oh. And it's like, she hadn't like gotten out of bed or anything. It was late by then, you know. I had gotten food shopping and to Bagel House. I had driven to Newark to just turn around, you know.
Right.
So, and part of me is like, you're still naked? It's like, you haven't like gotten dressed. Right. I feel like it just reminds me that she's like a lazy person. That kind of turns me off. And it's like, I'm pretty lazy, but I'm not that lazy. Like, that's like too lazy. You're just in bed all day.
How old? What was it, like noon or something?
No, but it was like 10 or 11. And we had woken up already. It's not like... And we had been sleeping for a long time. It's not like we went to bed.
So she's very lazy.
Yeah, she just like sleeps a lot and just like lies around.
Oh, okay.
I forget how much I don't like that.
Yeah, that's bad. So then, did she take a cab home?
Yeah, or... new cab. She's like, I guess you're not going to drive me home. I was like, nope.
Where does she live?
She lives by Old Stinkin' Lincoln, kind of.
Lincoln School?
Oh, no, the movie theater. Kind of, you know where Mardi Gras used to be? I know where that is.
Yeah. So she lives in Kearney then?
Well, it's the NA, I think.
It's technically North Arlington?
Because it's the other side of the street.
Oh, so it's technically North Arlington?
It's where, you know that weird parking lot, kind of, on the left, if you're going that way? As soon as you pass that street, the movie theater, there's the intersection, whatever street that's called.
I know where the movie theater is, but I don't remember the parking lot. But I'm sure if
it's like a strange lot area.
She lives there in the lot.
No, but it's across the street from it.
She lives
There's
alone?
like a hot dog place, like a stupid hot dog place for some reason. She was like right next to the hot dog place.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you mean.
This might be too descriptive. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Like you're giving me direction. Yeah. So she lives alone?
No, well, she's got a dog, but there's an apartment above her. That's what. She's not that old. There's no roommates or anything, if that's what you're asking.
So there's people in the other floors, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she lives alone in the apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, James is here. I want to go get him.
Okay.
That's a good story. That's a good start.
I'll talk to myself.
Yeah.
I won't say anything weird. Because that would be strange. Alright, let's get to the weird stuff. Aliens, spooky ghosts. What else we got? Interdimensional puppet masters. What do you guys want to talk about? Vampires. Electric vampires. Energy vampires. Umpires. There's empires. You know, we can get real down and dirty with this kind of, you know, naughty stuff. Okay. What's up? Sorry, I wasn't.
So James has arrived.
Oh, look at that. Look at his hand. Mina.
I got him. I was waiting for
Only 22 minutes late.
Where's our Dunkin' Donuts? You got enough for the rest of the class?
So Eric and I were saying that we assume that you basically.
Wait, let's hear his version.
Oh yeah, okay. So what?
And then we'll decide if we're right.
What?
So what happened?
I went to the bus stop, and I thought my bus was gonna come at 7:10.
Right.
I'm there at like 7:10, and it's like, all right, well, the bus is late sometimes. It'll be all right. And it's like 7:20. It's like 7:30. I'm like, all right, shit's really fucked up. Let me look at this shit. And I realized what I did wrong. And when I looked up the schedule last night for this morning, it was set to today on Google Maps. So what I looked up
was for yesterday.
But it was already the nighttime when I'm checking it, so I'm assuming that it's going to be 7 or 8 a.m. the next morning. But I realized when I looked at Google Maps again that I was looking at the wrong directions.
I see.
And then I was like, when's the next bus? And it would be the one I would normally take, so I was like, I'm just going to have to take an Uber. That's the only thing I can do at this point.
Was there an earlier bus at all? Or
maybe.
So what time did it actually come?
Well, I don't know. I was there early. I got there way before 7:10 just because I know how the buses are, and it's like sometimes you'll be 2 minutes away and you'll just see it go by. You know? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get there with. And because I like to get a coffee, at this place, so I give myself a few minutes extra so I could go get my cup of coffee and go get the bus, you know?
Yeah.
And but then I realized, I'm stupid anyway, because it's so early the place is closed. No place is open. It's 7:15. So I was like, whatever, that's fine. I'll be here.
That's exactly what Eric and I thought.
Yeah, basically.
Are you guys recording?
Yeah,
good. So I'm verified.
Yeah. We trashed you. No, I'm kidding.
Well, not exactly. We don't know.
I'm sure you guys threw in a lot of shit talking in there.
A little bit.
But we didn't trash you. No.
It's motivation for you to go back and re-listen.
Yeah. That's true.
No, we didn't trash you.
It was fucking miserable, dude, because it was so fucking freezing out. And then, the whole time, I was, regretting. I was like, I should have got the coffee. Look at all this fucking time I had. You know, I could be sipping on a coffee right now. And then I'm like, this shit's taking too long. And then I'm obviously pissed because then I have to spend money on the Uber and everything like that. Yeah. And then when I ordered the Uber, it was fucked up and it was going to the wrong spot. So I had to, go... I don't know what the fuck is up with my Uber shit, but it's
it doesn't register the location.
It doesn't pick up where I am, right? Yeah, maybe it's off. I didn't even look.
It might be the phone or something, right?
Yeah, because the last time I tried to get an Uber out from Rutherford, it tried to pick me up at my house, and I had left my house. It was a 10-15 minute walk back to my house, and then I had to cancel that Uber, right? And then so today, after I called the Uber, I was in the Rutherford train station, which is at the bottom of the hill. And it was trying to pick me up where it was that I called it the last time, which was a few blocks up at the music store. So now it was sending me back there. And then so I was like, fucking shit, you know,
It's I mean, I guess it happens, you know. I was telling Eric that whenever you change a routine, stuff like that happens. And, we've all fucked up stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, if I'm not gonna make excuses, but I definitely, you
definitely fucked up, but it's not the end of the world.
At first, I was really pissed off about like I was angry at the bus, and then I looked, and then I was like, oh great, you know, and I could just be angry at myself because it's like I fucked up, you know. I thought it was like the bus fucking up, and then I look and I'm like, no, this is 100% my fault that this is happening.
Yeah, those are the worst. That's all you.
Yeah.
You were blaming New Jersey Transit.
What's that?
You were blaming New Jersey Transit.
I don't think that's unreasonable though.
Yeah, the bus does suck.
It's not, and the train sucks too.
Yeah, everything sucks.
It's like I've had serious like fuck ups with them.
Yeah, I feel
many
like
times.
Like the PATH train, I used to take that every day. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it keeps getting more expensive, but the service never gets better.
No, it's getting worse. I think too. It just gets like sillier and sillier.
It's
we should put more people in the area to take the train, and then maybe that'll make it go faster.
Are you kidding me? Do you realize how many people already take that train? It's so packed, like every morning.
In the morning, have you ever taken that in the morning?
Yeah, I was joking.
Oh, okay. I was like,
but you have there's some truth to what you're saying though, because maybe if they were so overwhelmed, maybe they would actually do something. But who knows? But yeah, like
maybe they already are. Maybe that's the thing.
Maybe in the morning you literally cannot get in.
No, it's like sardines.
Yeah, you have to
go to Newark first.
You have to miss the train.
That's what I used to do when I took the bus. I would take the bus all the way to Newark, and then I would get the train at Newark, and then like ride through Harrison.
That's a clusterfuck too, though.
At Newark,
it's less though.
Yeah. And I figured it was worth getting the seat to take the extra. Like,
it was worth risk getting stabbed and getting 7 people to beg you for money.
Yeah. Now Newark is pretty.
And they're saying pretty bad with the panhandlers. It's like 24/7 now.
It's even worse.
21, yeah. And it's like nonstop. They got like
a night 21/6 and now it's 24/7.
They got 3 shifts going. Yeah. It's crazy.
I remember when I used to go to Rutgers, I used to take the train in Newark, the other train, not the PATH.
The light rail.
Yeah, New Jersey Transit one.
Oh, okay. I know. Never mind. Yeah.
And every time I go to the Penn Station, I could not go to the Penn Station without at least 2 people begging me for money. Literally every single time, you know?
Yeah. Well, you weren't going early enough, I don't think.
Well, I was coming back at night, too.
Oh, yeah, that's a rough time.
Yeah.
If you go early, they're all asleep.
It's fucked up.
No, I mean, well, I'll tell you what is fucked up, too. It's like when I used to go through Newark, it's like in the winter, you go up the stairs and there's waiting areas at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
And I wait there, but in the winter it gets really cold and all the homeless people come inside.
Oh, because it's heated, right?
Yeah, and then they'll all, like, sleep around. So you'll come in the morning, and then it's just, like, the whole benches are just, like, all the homeless people, like, sleeping and stuff. In the winter, it gets really crowded. And then it starts to, smell a little bit in there. Just a little bit. And then you start having, like, crazy encounters, because not all homeless people are the most...
reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you just hear people like screaming, "Shut the fuck up! You shut the fuck up!" Like screaming at each other in the morning. It's like, God damn.
New Brunswick. I used to go to the Rutgers, New Brunswick for 1 class for last semester, or 2 classes. I already forgot, but that train station there was also pretty sketchy. That area is pretty sketchy.
New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if all New Brunswick is like that, but that area is definitely not good.
Mm.
And there are a lot of homeless people too in the train station there and waiting in the freezing cold too.
Yeah.
And at one point, like they kick you out of the little waiting area and they kick you out into the where you have to wait on the tracks.
Yeah. There's no little house for you to duck in.
Yeah, so they kick you out there. It's like, oh man, this blows.
Yeah, that's what it was like before. It's so fucking cold today too. I was standing out there freezing my ass off for like a half hour.
That's what I was telling Eric how awful public transportation is. Like, and we were saying that you can. It's around here you can get by without having a car, but it still blows.
Yeah, like I was thinking, it was so nice yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm gonna ride my bike to the Colt, this will be the first one. And then I like checked out the weather, and I'm like, wait, I don't think so. It's gonna be fucking shitty. And it's truly shitty out right now. It's so fucking windy and cold. And
I know.
But now I'm even like, man, I should have just taken my bike anyway. It just would have been less of a hassle. It would have sucked riding in the windy, cold shit, but it would have just been less of a headache.
Yeah, the temperature dropped like 40 degrees or something.
Yeah, dude,
or 30 at least.
Seriously dramatic change in temperature over like 18 hours.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's I guess. That's that, I guess. But yeah, I finally cleaned my computer. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's quieter.
Ooh.
Sick, yeah.
Did you notice?
I didn't know it was on.
Yeah.
But it was so dirty. I opened it up yesterday. It was literally tar on the fans and on the little vents. Like, I don't know what the hell. I've seen a lot of fuzz and crap, but not tar. It looked like literally tar. It's like my computer got lung cancer.
Oh shit! Maybe it's from the candle and all the other stuff too.
Yeah, the candle, the different fumes. Yeah.
Yeah, and the incense too.
Yeah.
So I guess that shit all gets sucked up in there.
I guess. Yeah.
I didn't think about it.
I got a little paintbrush and I cleaned it, and I had the
Did you have to use like alcohol or something to clean that gunk off, or?
No, I didn't use. I didn't want to wet it.
Oh, okay. So you just scrubbed it off. Was it really sticky stuff?
Yeah, like it didn't fully come off. It's a little stained, but it's like it's way better. You know, I don't think I'm ever gonna get it 100% clean.
Yeah,
but it's like pretty good. You know.
Can you replace the blade like that spins on the fan?
I think you can. Those plants you can replace. Yeah, but
that's what you're talking about. That has the tar and stuff.
But the tar on that actually came off pretty good. It's just a little stained, so I think it's fine. But the tar on the metal like vents on the inside. Okay. I don't know if you know what I mean. There's like the little vents on the outside. You don't see the metal, but on the inside part, it's metal, and that part has like tar burned into it. Oh, and I can scratch it off a little bit, but I don't want to scratch the thing. I'm afraid of damaging it.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I just cleaned it as much as I could and left it at that. You know. So
just out of curiosity, how much is it to replace the fan?
I don't know. It's probably cheap. Those fans are cheap fans, so maybe I'd be surprised if it cost more than $20 a pop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I'm talking about like the motherboard. It's not the motherboard, but the metal part is the part that's most dirty. Yeah. And that part, I'm sure that would probably be more expensive.
Oh, I see. That's not part of the fan itself.
No.
Oh, okay.
But it's like taking the computer apart is pretty simple, but you know, getting the nitty gritty of cleaning that is pretty annoying.
Yeah, it's a little project.
Yeah, it took me about 2 hours to get it really clean, but I cleaned it really good. I got a huge beer and I just set it in my stool and I just cleaned like my beer clean. Like, and I was sweating because it was so hot.
Oh, you were sweating too?
Yeah.
Dude, I was sweating yesterday. I'm like, what the fuck? This is bullshit. I was already like hot. I'm like, do I turn the air? I'm like, I'm not gonna turn the air conditioner on. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
So Eric was telling us that yesterday he fucked Moesha.
No, this is Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a long story. I can retell it, but for the sake of the listeners.
Did you tell it already?
Yeah.
But that's good. Then it's there.
Yeah, you can listen to it.
I'll listen later.
But yeah,
that's better.
But the point that
you tell me later.
That's part of the
breakfast.
Where he left off. What left off was that. So the next day you took this thing, right? And how did that go? Was it just you?
Yeah. So. I got her a bagel too because I went to Bagel House.
Right.
I was like, "Do you want?" That's the thing too. I had told her I was getting Bagel House. I was like, "Get dressed." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she's talking shit 'cause she was lazy because I went to the DMV like early in the morning, but then left because it was packed. So I just went food shopping, which I was supposed to on Friday. But long story short, I had to babysit her, so I couldn't do anything I wanted to on Friday, which delayed all my plans. But I still wanted to do the thing, so I did it anyway. But I went food shopping in Bagel House and back, and she still wasn't even like dressed yet. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm like, it's like 10-ish. Like, get ready.
So you got a lot done before 10. That's right. You got it very early.
So she slept over Friday, and then Saturday this is going on.
Yeah,
right?
and I wanted to do it early too because of the cold today.
Yeah, but not a cold.
Not a cold. And I don't want to, push it and then be late. Because I already always push it. So I'm like, let me do it early so I can actually fall asleep.
Right.
So I was like, it's all these plannings, Yeah, so while we were eating, I was making coffee because I had gotten like this. My boss had given me coffee for some reason. Like no explanation for it. Just left a bunch of beans of coffee on my desk.
It's a riddle.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even have like a bean cruncher, but whatever.
Just whole beans?
Yeah, just whole coffee beans. But my mom knew this lady that she worked at had it, so I was like, I gave it to her. She went there and ground it, and gave it back. So I have a bunch of this coffee in like a Nesquik.
How much did it yield? Was it?
It's the standard Nesquik container. It's exactly that much coffee, and it was a pretty full bag. I'd say it was about this candle and a half. It felt something like that.
Oh man, okay, cool.
Worth of coffee, so it seems about the same. But anyway, so I had I was putting that coffee on. I don't even know why I'm telling this. I took the stuff because I was like, all right, while I do that and the coffee brews, I have time, so I get everything in. So she didn't see me do it. Not that I was hiding it from her. I'm like, I got my own life to do. It's like, I need to tell you what I'm doing.
Right.
So I was doing that. And then I like watching soccer and eating breakfast, especially on Saturdays. So that's what I was doing. There's an Italian game on, so I was like, I'm put see what Italy's up to. I haven't seen what they do in these part of the woods yet, so I was doing that. And I was eating my bagel, and I was forcing her to watch it. I'm like, this is what's on. I'm like, this is my life. It's like, if you want...
She doesn't like soccer?
If you want
This is my life.
No, we went to the Peru game and stuff. I know she's not
a huge fan.
That down with it. I
Right.
think she's faking it a bit, but I don't know. But anyway, I was doing that, and then she's like, I guess you're not going to drive me home, right? I'm like, no. I'm like, I just took this shit, too. It's like, I'm definitely driving you home. It's like, I don't know where you got this idea. So... She Ubered back, and then I was alone all day, so that was nice. And it was a nice day.
How was it?
It was good. It was a nice, it was kind of relaxing. At one point, I started to almost freak out because I started thinking about like last time I freaked out.
Right.
So I was like, imagine I started thinking about those crazy thoughts again. I'm like, that would be funny, wouldn't it? And I was like, I'm like, that would be funny. And then I was like, and then I got into that spinny thing, and I was like, oh fuck. And then I was walking around, and I hadn't cleaned up because my Friday was fucked up because of Moesha.
Yeah.
So I had all this stuff left to do, and I still needed to fix some stuff on like the drums the way it's set up, which I didn't get to do. And I was like, she fucked me up. And now I have like all this mess still before I could fully enjoy myself. And I was like, fuck, I could just like do it. And then there was a point where like I gave myself a thumbs up, and I remembered. I was like, oh yeah, it's like I wanted to make like an insignia. I was like, this is my one tattoo idea would be like a mark on my hand.
Okay.
It'd basically be like a reminder that it's gonna be all right. It's like a little fish on the wall. Okay. That sings. So I did some quick jotting of like some stuff, and I got like a symbol, and I was like, all right, this is gonna be like my symbol. And then that worked. Every time like I would get near the bad thought, I would think about that symbol and then the thumbs up, and I'd be like, all right. And it was easily the vertical. I was like, oh, this is cool. It's like I've blocked the bad vibes with this stupid like
did you
with
do a
this
lot?
charm. No, I just did. Maybe it wasn't even one because it was like one of the weird like angles that were coming out of the grid, and I was like, whoosh. I was like one enough basically. So I did that, but it was fun.
I thought about going on an adventure myself, but I didn't sleep well Friday, so I was kind of like blah yesterday. So I'm like, it's not good now,
Yeah. I felt like I should have gone outside, but I was telling both of you, I guess.
James.
Oh no, I was just fucking hey. It was the band chat though. I think we were talking, but it was so nice outside. But I didn't go because like I was quiet for a while in my house, just like hearing things. I was trying to hear the birds, and if I close my eyes and like listen to the birds, I can like get on like bird frequency, and I just heard like the higher ups, and I felt like I was outside like hearing the birds, but then I kept hearing all the other stuff like cars driving by, like people like screaming, like ladies yelling, all this commotion, things like slamming against other things. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, what's happening? I feel like I couldn't even leave my house. I was too, like, scared. It was one of those, like, trips. I would have needed, like, an assistant, Where if it was two people tripping, I would have felt, camaraderie, and we could have done it together. But I was like, fuck this shit. I was like, I'm perfectly happy inside. And I had these crazy, like, yoga pants on that I bought, and they have, like, these crazy designs. But they're super comfy, so I was like, I'm definitely not going outside with these pants on. I'm definitely not changing my pants right now. So I was like, I guess I'm not going outside. So
That settles it.
Yeah, that was done.
So that's cool. So, so as far as Moesha goes, you're still in the same boat. You're the one to be with her and anything, right?
No.
But she hasn't mentioned anything.
No.
That's an interesting situation.
It is.
Because I feel like women usually, there's definitely some questionable characters out there, but I think usually they're not okay with that you just sleep with them,
I feel like she's putting in some like imaginary credit.
Yeah.
I feel like she's putting coins in
the machine doesn't work.
in like in the vending machine and just like going straight through, and all the coins are like piling up at the bottom. But she doesn't see it, and I'm just like coming by and taking all the coins for myself. I was like, ooh, 75 cents. She's like, where's the soda? I don't know, like, I don't know where you're trying to get soda from, but I know a good place to get free coins.
Oh yeah, so what happened? Yeah, so in other news, unless you want to say
like some closing statements?
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, so we got mad again because I tried to apologize to her and she got just insulted all of us or me and like it was a confusing situation.
The wife.
Oh crap! Yeah. So, Ian, damn it.
That's it. Sorry.
James's
Yeah.
James's wife. I apologize to her for well, I apologize to her for hurting her feelings, like I said I was going to do. Based on what I said, when I gave her a rundown of what I think is wrong with her.
Usually women don't like that.
Yeah, so, like I said, a while ago, I gave her a rundown of what's wrong with her, which was, very, very accurate to say the least. But obviously, she didn't take that well. And then she hated me, like you all know. And then the long time passed, I'm like, I'll say sorry, I hurt your feelings for saying that. Because, although I meant it and it's obviously largely true, she can't handle that. And also, because of that, maybe it was a bad idea to say it. Maybe I shouldn't have said it. Even if I should have said it, it hurt her feelings. I'm like, I wanted to apologize, for hurting her feelings. Okay. And then at first, so I said, I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings. Hope we can be friends. I miss hanging out with you. Hope we can all be friends. Something like that, I said, And then
was James aware that you were going to do this?
I had mentioned to him that
I was aware, but I didn't know when he intended on doing it.
Yeah, so I
surprise attack. I like
it. I figured that would be good for me too. It's like if I don't know.
So I told James last week when I drove him home, I'm like, I think I'm going to apologize to her, or I already said it a few times, and he's like, I think that would be nice. So it made me feel like you were okay with it.
I was. Yeah, I am still. I thought it was good.
So I'm like, okay. I figured like eventually anybody would get over that. I would figure because first of all it wasn't even like malicious really although it was heavy handed anyway. So I tell her I'm sorry, hope we can be friends, something like that, and then she says then she starts like right off. First she says I want to be just like you when I grow up, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. And then she's like, I don't know what that means either. I'm like, okay. And then she doesn't say anything. I'm like, okay, what the hell was that? And then the next day, I don't know where she starts insulting me. She's like, you remind me of it's pretty honestly. Well, let me say this. So I'll tell you what she said. Then she says, honestly, you remind me of a 16-year-old. It doesn't really say why. I'm like, okay. And then she says, y'all have dependency issues. And then she says that I don't know why Ian confides in you, and I don't think you're not anywhere near who you think you are, or something like that. She was trying to like be hurtful, she said those things, but very vague in a way, So she didn't give any examples she didn't make her points legitimate really, because she said like, oh, you're stupid, let's say, but like, how am I stupid?
Right.
Like, where is the evidence?
Not hurtful enough. You got to get specific if you want to be hurtful.
She basically that's a good example. Saying I'm stupid with no example. Like a hurtful thing would be, you're stupid. Here's how you're stupid, or basically she was also suggesting that I'm egotistical, which I am, but she didn't give an example as to how I'm not who I like. Tell me who do I think I am, and why that's wrong, and who I actually am, and give me evidence for everything. That could potentially have been hurtful. So honestly, I was pretty disappointed by the weak insult. I'm like, this is pretty, this is like, I don't know, 3rd, 4th grade level. Like, you're ugly, like it's just like, or you're fat. It's just pretty weak, I was thinking for somebody so miserable and bitter, she would be better at being insulting. But yeah, so that was, but it did annoy me. But it didn't really get to me, but it did annoy me, because even if it's nonsense and half incoherent, it's still annoying to have somebody insult you, even if it's bad insults. Mm-hmm. So it definitely did annoy me. And then she also said, she was vague, and then she out of nowhere sends me a video of Jordan B. Peterson, and here's a video where he talks about men being, like, men who are like man children, like men who act like kids, and she kind of sends that out of nowhere. So I don't know if she was aiming that at me, or trying to insult also James, or all three of us, And then she's like, then she said, you guys have a brotherhood, and doesn't say anything else. So I'm like, isn't that a good thing? But she doesn't really say anything after that. I think out of nowhere she says, men change when they get married. And then I'm like, okay. And then she says, I've seen changes in my brother and in my father. And I'm like, okay, what the hell does it have to do with like what I'm trying to, this?
I don't know if our father is a good example.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell does it have to do with, the point of this is me trying to apologize to you, and you should be responding to that. And so you're kind of going off on tangents, and I'm not sure how they really tie in. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of, then, obviously my instinct when somebody insults me is to eviscerate them, But I held back, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that because it's not gonna go anywhere. It's just gonna make things even worse, So I just said, well, I hope clearly you're still angry, and I don't, I don't. All I meant with what I said was, I hope that we could be friends, and I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. That's all. That was all I was trying to say. Nothing else. Nothing more. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk away. And then
You said that?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna walk away. And more or less that was the gist of it, So like the insults were like, pretty disappointing, but it's still annoying. And then she went off on weird tangents, and at some point I wasn't clear if the insults were aimed at me or all three of us, And that was pretty much it, And she also said that last thing she said, she's like, you don't know what I'm going through. And she's like, you don't value respect my opinions. And I'm like, okay. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
That wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Was this the first time you heard of it, James?
Heard of what?
This story?
Yeah.
Well, she didn't tell you any of this?
No.
She didn't say any of this to you?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, she mentioned that you contacted her.
What she say? She didn't say anything?
You didn't probe further?
No, she didn't mention it. I mentioned it, actually. Because we had gotten into a big argument, like a big fight, like a blowout kind of thing. It was like a big deal. And then this was like the day before you did this.
Okay.
So I feel like it was like the day after I had come, or maybe a day or two after, like, where we were kind of like getting back to actually like talking. And then I was like, just so you know, like, the fact that Gus like reached out to you to apologize like had nothing to do with like what happened between you and I.
Right.
He doesn't know that we were in an argument, and he had told me he was going to do it, but he never told me when. So I'm like, because obviously I assumed that she would see that as connected with everything. Okay. And I explained it's like that's unrelated. He just wanted to do that.
And what'd she say?
She said, "Oh," she seemed a little surprised. She was pretty like, I think, as I suspected. I think she was kind of imagining that it was like related somehow.
But she didn't give you any detail as to what we talked about?
No.
So she just said, she told you that I contacted her?
No, I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. Because you told me what happened after you talked to her.
Right.
And so I knew that you guys spoke, but she never mentioned it. But I just talked to her, and I said, listen, I brought it up because I know that obviously she knew. But she never actually mentioned it to me. No.
So this whole thing that I told you now was never discussed.
No, I didn't know any of that.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. But
did you tell her that after the conversation was all over?
Did I tell her what?
No, James, when you told her that, had your conversation with her already ended?
Yeah, right.
I think so, because it was like a day later. Like, it was like the day after you texted me, or maybe even 2 days after, so. I'm assuming all this kind of happened within, over a couple hours?
Yeah, I apologized on the evening of whatever day, and then she said that I want to be just like you, which made no sense to me. And then the next day, she started insulting me, all of us. Or potentially all of us, yeah. Like, the way, the order of the insults and, like, the tangents, honestly, it didn't, like I was saying, like, it didn't, like, fully make sense. But, clearly she was trying to be hurtful. Yeah. But, she didn't do it. I wanted to troll her and it was so hard not to be a dick, because I'm so good at it. Yeah. And, like, I'm like, don't do it, I wanted to tell her, can you please reread the last thing I think actually that offended you so you can learn how to insult someone or something like that, Or be like, I was thinking of saying, okay, I'm going to take everything you just said as an apology. I forgive you. Or, like, some sort or troll her in some other way, but I'm like, no, she's not going to see the humor in any of this. So I just like, whatever, But yeah, so, that's interesting that you didn't know the details. But yeah, it was bizarre. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, so what the hell did you guys fight about?
I'm not going to talk about it on the podcast.
Oh, okay. So after the podcast?
Yeah, you'll get the details later.
Okay. So is that bad?
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll just say it fuck it.
Okay.
Here you go, listener. Fuck it, you know. But basically, like, it happened like this. So my mom has been like trying to come, and she wants to see my son, right?
Mm-hmm.
She wants to see him. She wants to have a relationship with him. She has a birthday present that she never gave him. She's got these Valentine's Day gifts she never gave him.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
got
you
Easter
mentioned
stuff
that.
she never gave
Right.
him, right? So that's how long she hasn't seen him.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's been calling me, and she's like, you know, every time she calls, she's like, when are you going to come, and when can I see him? You know, it's like, we got to set something up. And, you know, like, I keep, like, pushing her and, like, blowing her off. And then it's like, you know, it's because I know that I'm going to get into an argument with my wife if, like, I have to bring it up, you know. It's like, it's going to be a problem.
Why is that a problem?
Because she despises my family.
And why is that?
Because they're, I guess...
They drink too much and that stuff?
Yeah, they're alcoholics and, you know, lousy people and that sort of thing, you know. And so she just dislikes them.
So she doesn't want them to see your son?
You know, she's like... Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Okay.
she's never said that, but it's like, you know, she pretty much
probably
has said
prefer
that.
that.
Yes, that's absolutely what she wants. She would,
Right.
she would like have it so that they never like appeared again. Like if they could not exist, I think that's what she would want.
Okay.
And so, you know, I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling bad about this shit. And it's like, I told my mom last weekend that I would, like, get back to her with, like, how, you know, we can set something up. And it was already, like, Thursday night. And then she had called me again. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing it again. You know, I'm just, like, putting this off because I'm not, you know, talking to her. I'm not calling her to set this up because I don't want to argue with my wife, blah, blah, blah. So, but then, like, I finally, like, I got so pissed off that I was like, why do I have to endure this? You know, it's
Right.
like, I don't agree with her principles on this. I don't think she's, like, making a smart choice, really, you know?
Right.
And she'll tell me that I'm biased in saying that, and I'll tell her, of course, you know, that's my family. And you continue to, like, disregard the fact that my family means something to me, you know?
Right.
It's like, you don't like them. They're just, like, monsters to you, but they're people I care about and love. And people who deserve to have a relationship with me and my son.
Right.
You know, even if they're imperfect people, they're not so imperfect that they should be treated like they don't exist.
Right. And it's not like they're going to hurt your son.
And she made that argument. And I'm like, you're making that argument feels like an insult to like me, because it's like, you think that I would put our son in such a dangerous position.
Right. And you'll be there when we're with him. It's not like you're
course.
dropping him off.
Of course. Even if I had to drop him off, he would be fine.
Right.
But the fact that it's like, you make it out to be that I would, like, endanger my own son. That's your claim.
Right.
I would endanger my own son. That I can't be trusted to take care of my own child, is what you're telling me. Because that's what that's what you're saying. If you're saying, like, well, I can't let you do that because you'll take him around dangerous people.
Right.
You'll allow dangerous people. So basically what I just got fed up, and I was like, look, I'm like, my parents are coming over this weekend to hang out with, you know, Lee, and if you don't like it, like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not, like, listening to what you have to think or say about this.
Right.
And I'm just drawing the line, like, on a bunch of stuff now. Because, like, I'm looking around and it's like, I pay for everything.
Exactly.
You know, like, I supply everything.
Exactly.
And it's like, there's no reason to, like, comply with your ludicrous demands on these things.
Exactly. You're the king.
Yeah. Dude, I feel bad, like, but it was really, like, a kind of, like, I just got so fed up with, like, because my attitude is always, like, I'll yield and I'll work with you. I'll yield and I'll work with you. I'll yield and I'll work with you.
Right.
But it just seemed, like, so ridiculous at this point where I was like, no, like, I'm not, like, gonna keep doing this.
Right. So you told her they're coming in too bad.
Yeah.
And what'd she say?
And then she was like, well, she argued with me. I'm like,
I had a big fight, remember?
What's that?
So that caused a big fight?
Yeah, this was like all like,
Okay.
I can't remember. Yeah, and then so that caused a big fight, and I was like, I don't care about any of this stuff, you know. It's like whatever you want to say or do. I'm like, and I basically said that. I'm like, you know. And then she's like, well, does that mean you're never going to listen to anything I say? And I said, like, no, of course not. I'm like, if you say things and do things that are completely reasonable and make sense to me, it's like, of course I'll be agreeable to those ideas, you know, but I'm not going to accept any idea that I feel like is a bad idea.
Right.
I'm not going to comply to, like, go along with a bad idea.
Exactly.
You know, and it's like...
And what'd she say?
And then she was pretty fucked up by that. And then, I think this was the next day.
Right.
I had just been meditating, and then I came in, and she's like, "What do you think of me?" And then I was like,
"Oh no, that's what she told me. This is how our fight with her started."
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, because she like, I told her that long list of things because she asked me, "Why do you think about me?"
Yeah, and so she said, she's like, "What do you think of me?" And then, like, I was about to, like, make up some bullshit.
Right.
And there had been something in my meditation before that was, like, telling me, like, honesty, you know? It's, like, the strength, courage, and honesty. And then I was like, no, like, I'm really going to tell you what I think now. Like, I'm not going to hold anything back.
Okay.
And I did.
What did you tell her?
I told her, I told her, I think you're a weak person.
Wow.
I said, and, you know, like, you're weak in every way. And like, every way that matters, like, you're weak. And that, you know, it's like, I'm tired of, like, having to deal with, like, your weakness, basically, you know? And I'm like, and it was pretty brutal.
Anything else that you say to her?
Yeah, I told her about the, like, she's like, do you still love me? And I told her, sometimes I really don't, you know? Because remember I told you guys, like, I had to go through that little study. And I explained to her, and I was like, I told her everything I was going to say. I was like, it's not like I'm loving you all the time. It's like there are moments that are very nice where certain things are happening and it's very perfect and very nice, but like absolutely not. It's like, it's not like I love you all the time. Like I'm not engaged with that. I'm like, there are things you do that make me love you and things you do that make me hate you. You know, I told her that. And I was like, and I told her my other proposition too. And I was like, despite that, I will make a commitment to stay with you and have a family with you, like, even in the absence of, like, romantic love. Like, I'll do that. Like, I told her. And that is my commitment. That is my stance. But, and that was everything I had to say.
And what did she say?
And we just kind of went into detail. Well, you know, she's like, well, what do you mean by how am I weak? And blah, blah, blah. And I just was as honest as I possibly could be. Like, it wasn't easy because almost everything I had to say was like a super damaging comment. And then I was just like, there's no way I can say what I need to say without being damaging and hurtful. And I realized that because it was like, every time I would say like something that was really hurtful, I wanted to like then say it's like, but, blah, 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 and mention something good, you know, to not make her feel bad. But I'm like, I can't do that. Right. Because then she's going to remember that part of it. Right. And not the part that I'm being critical. And I'm like, and she needs to understand like the depth of my like
misery,
frustration,
dissatisfaction,
destruction. And what did you say when you gave her all those details? Why she sucked?
She cried, you know. I made her cry. You know?
That right. You fisted the North Star.
Yeah, dude.
And she exploded 5 seconds later.
It was really like brutal. And of course, I'm laughing about it now. And it fucked up, like, it blew up like my whole week, you know. It was just like crazy.
How did she act after that?
Well, then, like, you know, she was crying. And she asked me questions, and I just tried to talk to her. But, like, I felt like no matter, like, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. But, like, she was, like, I could sense she was, like, reaching out for, like, me to, like, comfort her, to, like, set her up again. And I wouldn't do it. Like, I'm like, no, you know, like, I'm not going to comfort you. Right. You have to. And it was such a weird thing. I was like, you have to, like, be there with this in order to understand it. Right. You know? And so I was very just, like, I said what I wasn't mean. You know, I wasn't like, you dumb fucking asshole. I really tried to, like...
Neither was I when I told her.
I really tried to be... but at the same time, like, I was pretty frustrated. Right. And there was a comment she made. It was actually, I believe it was the night before, where she was arguing with me about my parents. And then during one of like her kind of rebuttals, she's saying, "No one respects me. No one respects me." And she said that like over and over again. And I was going to ask her, like,
do you respect yourself?
No, I was going to say, does that include me? Do you think I don't respect you? And I was going to ask her that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to ask her. Because obviously she sounds pretty confident in her answer right now. She's saying, no one respects me. No one respects me. And I'm pretty sure she knows what the word no one means. And I'm pretty sure I'm part of no one. Right. So if that's the stance you want to take, it's like, fine. You just lost my respect now. Because it's like, I've been busting my ass to respect you.
Right.
And you think that no one respects you. And, you know, you're just going to say that. And that really pissed me off. That's what changed everything. That, if she hadn't said that, the next day when I unloaded on her, and it's probably good she said that. Because I would not have probably been as honest as I was. But that really, like, cut me to the core, you know? It's like when she does things like that. It's like, I work hard to do the right thing. Right. And when you work hard to do the right thing and somebody tells you you're doing it wrong anyway, when you're doing it right, that's the grandest insult you can inflict on a person. Right, yeah. And so that was like, you know what? Okay, fine. Because obviously if I'm working so hard to do X, Y, and Z, and you don't even identify it with that at all, it's like, that's not effective.
Right.
It's not effective if you don't even realize what I'm trying to do for you.
So after she cried and stuff, and you told her all that, how was she acting? Was she just like distant or something?
A little bit, yeah. And then like I just went to bed because I had to go to bed, and I was like, you know.
So this was like a few days ago already, right?
This was Thursday night. So Wednesday night, I believe we had the argument about my parents. Then Thursday night, I kind of hit her with everything, and then Friday, like I came home and
just went to bed.
No, she wasn't there. You know, okay. She wasn't at the house, and I didn't know what she did. You know, I figured she was at her parents', but I didn't know what she was doing, and blah blah blah.
Right.
And she wasn't around, and so I'm like, maybe she'll fucking, you know, stay over there. I'm like, okay, I got work to do anyway, so I'm just working, and I don't know. Then she finally comes home, and as it turns out, like she was scared, like. Of me, like she didn't know what I was going to do next, like, but I wasn't doing anything. I was just there.
So we're gonna beat her or something,
or maybe like, you know, I told her, I made a joke. I was like, "What do you think your bags were going to be packed when you got home and stuff like that?" But personally, I thought she would be upset with me because, you know, I really kind of beat her pretty bad with verbally, guys, verbally
and physically.
No, I never laid a hand on her.
But you regret not doing it.
No, I wasn't like that angry.
But so then, what happened then?
And then she was just like, you know, she was kind of like trying to see what I was up to. And then I was just kind of like normal because I wasn't angry anymore, you know? Right. And then it's like she showed up that night and I'm like, okay, so you've made your choice. That's the way I looked at it. It's like you accept then like what I told you.
Right.
If you're here now and we're going to like, but maybe that's the thing. Like maybe that can't be unspoken. Maybe I got to go back and make sure like that's articulated.
So then how was Saturday like yesterday?
Yeah, I was busy, but it was nice. She was fine. And no, she did afterwards. She was like, because she spent the whole day at her parents' on Friday, you know? And then I figured that would be a good enough thing to show her. Because that's the thing. It's like, you know, without me, it's like, you're going to go back to them. And it's like, is that really what you want? You want to go back to them? Yeah. It's like, you know, you should maybe like, I'm a little better than them. Just a little better than them.
Can you give me that at least?
Yeah, you know. And so that's what I figured. She came back and I was like, yeah, I bet she is back. Because she's like hanging out with them for a whole day. And it's like, yeah, that'll be your life if you fucking fuck this up.
So Saturday she was just normal? You guys didn't talk about anything really?
We did a bit, you know. But it was more of like a, you know, a conversation about, you know, what I expect from her. You know, and who she is as a person and things like that. And she told me, she was like, look, and she did a smart thing because she talked to her friend about it and she didn't talk to her mom.
She has a friend?
Yeah. But they're not good friends, you know. They've known each other a long time. They go way back and everything like that. But they're not, you know, they don't see each other regularly. And there's kind of like questionable elements in their relationship. But she talked to her and that's good because that means like, you know, it's better she talks to her than her mom. I feel like.
A million times.
Not even just because this friend has better judgment, but just because like that would pull her mother into like an inner circle of our marriage that would be like awkward and unusual. So it should be best that. And from what I can tell, her parents do like respect the like boundaries of our marriage like very nicely. Like while they do try to like influence things in certain ways. Like when it comes to certain things, they're very like respectful, which is nice. But anyway, so she talks to her friend,
right,
and then she comes back to me and she's like, a lot of the things you said, are right, and she's like, I just don't know what to do because the problem is like an overwhelming one, and she doesn't fully understand everything that's going on with her, and she doesn't know what she needs to do. But I talked to her and I was like, look, it's like, here are the things, I just gave her a long list. I was like, here are the things you do that I really like this is great, this is great, this is great, this is great, this is good, all the things, like, basically good things. And I told her that, I'm like the good things, like when you learn, when you're kind, when you do this, and it's like, these are nice things, like, these things I don't like, and it's like, here's a bunch of things I don't like, and I'm like, of course this is just my opinion, but my opinion really fucking counts, because I'm your husband, so you better, like, think of my opinion a little bit. But it's really tough, but I don't know. It's like...
So she's basically boiled down that she doesn't know what to do with that?
Yeah, I think she needs to, like, try and make things better, and she's gonna be,
Maybe I should apologize next.
I should apologize again. So now you so you guys are like... so you guys are like so now?
I mean, yeah, we're kind of so, but we're pretty good. And I'll tell you what, telling her everything made me feel a lot better because it was like I didn't have anything pent up. I don't have anything pent up anymore. It's like all laid out there.
I was gonna say when you told her, I wasn't gonna just go into the nitty gritty as I always do.
Yeah,
nitty gritty. That sounds weird. Nitty gritty. I feel like I'm saying that wrong for some reason. Anyway, so when you told her, you said that it seems like you were saying that you didn't, in the moment of the fight, you didn't want to say, oh, I hate all this about you, but I also like this because that makes it, that kind of, lessens the blow, and you don't want to sanitize it because it's not, essence isn't sanitary, basically, right?
Yeah.
So, but you told her that, but it sounds like when she asked her if you loved her, right? You told her that, it sounds like you said that, it sounds like you did sanitize it because you said, sometimes it seems like you try to, the way you described it, it seems like you were trying to dodge it.
Yeah.
Because you said, all these things, I don't love you some of the time, but when you do all these things, it's really nice. The nice things that you do are really nice. Isn't that kind of like,
No, because I did before I was going to just come out and be like, I don't love you anymore. Like, I was like, well, let me really be careful about that statement, because that's like a pretty
heavy statement.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I did my little analysis. And then, what I discovered was that, that was the truth of what I discovered. That when I watched myself watching her and being with her, that was the feeling I had. And I was like, oh, that's there were moments where it was like, you are perfect.
So there are moments that you do feel like you love her?
But yeah, I do, where it's like, we're close and I care about you. And it's not I don't know, it's a complicated thing because it's not all romantic love, but there are many moments when we're together that feel close to perfect.
But it's not romantic love.
It is. It can be. Sometimes it's an intimate thing. Sometimes it's a familial thing. Maybe it'll be a thing where the three of us are together, me, her, and Lee. Or maybe it'll just be a thing where we're sharing something between the two of us, but it's not romantic necessarily. I guess in a way it is. It's just intimate,
So sometimes it is romantic love?
Yeah, and sometimes it is romantic love.
Okay.
And sometimes it's a sexual thing. And sometimes, so there's all these things. But the point being is the general feeling is strong positive emotion,
right.
And closeness, intimacy, and comfort, and a lot of good is there.
Okay, so it would be true to say that at times you do love her in different ways, and at times you don't love her.
Yeah, sometimes I think it's when she says and acts in a way that
is absurd,
or not, or is weak, as I would call it. When she succumbs to a sort of yeah. And I mean, I guess that's understandable, right? You're not going to love somebody all the time.
I think one issue that in her incoherence when insulting me, and half of it was nonsense. I think, and there was truth to what she was saying in her insults too, although it was vague, like I said. But one thing I think she said, when she threw the thing that pissed you off, that she threw in your face, that nobody respects her, right? She said that to me, that nobody. She's like, I matter, nobody. You don't respect my opinions. So she has this thing in her head that I think that's a big problem. I think that, I don't know, I guess if you're going to I assume you're going to try to help her work through these things, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how you find the patience to do this, but I find that incredible that, that you're willing to do these things, So it's, maybe, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't. Anyway, like, yeah, I don't know. I find it amazing that you have the patience to do this. I don't even know if. I don't know how. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I think you get the feeling, but because I'm at a loss for words as to how or why you have the patience to do this. But aside from that, she says this of you don't respect me, and she told me the same thing. You don't respect me. You don't value my opinions, you know. And she's like, I matter too. It's like, don't you know that I'm a person too? It's like, and I told her, I told her in after I told her I'm walking away, I told her, I know you matter. It's not like I'm invalidating your existence, you know. I think the problem with her is when it comes to her opinions, some of her opinions are nonsense, and she gets angry that I get obviously more you because you're her husband and you're closer to her. She gets angry that people, especially you, and at times me, I guess, that we don't agree with her opinions. And she takes that as a sign, like, I'm invalidating your existence. Like, oh, because I don't agree, that means I think you're an idiot, or I think you're worthless, you don't count as a person. You know, that's not what I'm saying. Like, if you say nonsense, why would you expect me to agree with nonsense? You know, it doesn't mean, like, I'm saying that you don't count as a human being, but in this moment, you're taking a ridiculous stance. So why would I agree with it? You know?
Exactly.
So I think that is a crucial thing that she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's just,
she seems to take the harshest version of whatever happens as well, you know.
Oh yeah, when we were fighting, I called her the Princess and the Pea.
what does that mean exactly?
Because like this, it's a fable of the Princess and the Pea. Like to discover like her royal status, like they made this like girl sleep on like all these mattresses and feather beds, but they put a pea inside, and it was like she could feel the pea and she couldn't sleep, that's supposed to represent like, oh look, she is royalty because she's super sensitive, you know. Like,
oh, okay. I never knew that tale.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard about it. I thought it was a giant pea though.
No, it was
like, what's this
normal
about?
size pea.
I'm not white enough.
I meant like the letter P, like they made a big P for her, like Princess P. I was like, it's like a spelling thing to get children. Like, I don't know.
The little vegetable. But I called her that, you know, because, yeah, that's what I was, like, basically alluding to. It's like you take the, like, you know, you can't handle anything. Like, every little, like, iota of suffering, like,
I see.
derails you.
Yeah. That is a bizarre thing, because I feel like I've noticed that in different people, though, an extreme case, I guess. Or maybe she's an extreme case just because I know her better. I see how crazy she is, let's say. But I notice that in people because, you know, a lot of the time in the past and even sometimes now, I get overwhelmed by darkness too, you know, and I say fucked up things or I'm overly cynical or something like that. But then I still go to work and get the job done, you know, and I still do what I have to do, you know, and I feel like, but in public life, even in public, a lot of the times I would say like something fucked up or something, right? But I'll still do what I have to do. And she would be somebody who in public life, let's say, she wouldn't say anything, any of the fucked up things that I would say, but she's not holding it down like I am, you know? So it's just like a bizarre thing how that works, you know?
And to be like honest, it was like that kind of was like the thing that drove me to like lose patience too. Where it's like you talk about that idea of like holding it down, right? It's like this is gonna sound cocky, but I don't care. It's like when I looked at my life, I was like, I'm holding this down, and I just kind of took stock of everything, and I was like, I'm doing this well, I'm doing this well, I'm doing this well, I'm doing this well, and it's like everything when I look at it, it's like I could obviously say I'm doing it well,
right?
Because it exists, it matters, people know about it. If you ask me about it, like it's a good thing you're gonna hear when I tell you about it, you know. So it's like everything indicates that it's like I'm doing. Not everything perfectly, but I'm obviously like a fairly functional human being. You know, it's like I'm doing things right, and that counts. The fact that things go right. When I try to do things, things work, things happen. You know, even if I show up 20 minutes late to the call, I'm here. You know, it's
but
like
overall you're doing. Over there, you do a lot of things right. Like you hold a job, you're paying for everything, you move to a new house, you're good to your child. You know, like. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff, you know, and I feel like...
To get right, you know?
And that is a lot... You do deserve a lot of credit for that, and the problem is that I don't think she couldn't do what you do, you know? Or I don't think she could even come close to do what you do, and, like, it's not even much of an insult, it's more of... It is a fact. And, like, that's kind of what upset you, that she's not valuing that, right? Like, without you, she would be fucked, basically.
Yeah, and then it's like... And then that was kind of what led into me, it's like... And now, like, you expect me to, like, bow to your idea. And it was, like, an arrogant thing. It's like, my real thought was like, and I think I actually said this, I'm like, who are you to tell me what to do?
Exactly.
You know, it's like, you have no right or authority to tell me what to do.
Exactly. Not that you should abuse her, but like if the idea is bad, and on top of that, you're the one supporting everything. Like,
yeah, that was my realization. I was like, so my parents are going to be here this day.
Do they come?
Like, no, they're going to come next weekend. And I'm like, if you don't want to be here, you can go out. You know, I'm, like,
I'm not
going to say you have to be here, but it's like my parents deserve to have a relationship with their grandson and their son. You know, like that's, you know, you just have to deal with that. Oh, and then check this fucking one out. And then so what she does, after I tell her that, and I'm like, this is the way it's going to be, she's like, well, I'm going to tell your mom what I really think about her. And I said, okay, go ahead, you know, just because I'm like, I'm not going to argue. We'll just see how you do. And we'll go from there. And she fucking did text my mom. My mom the next day, she's like, woke up to really like long text from Julie telling me what she thinks about me, period. Very hurtful, period. And I was like, oh my God. She did Jesus. Fucking asshole. And then I came home and then we had a conversation about that, and I was like, so you hurt my mom's feelings. I'm like, I hope you're happy.
What did she tell her?
I don't know. I didn't ask either. I don't know. It's like,
that's not enough.
Yeah, that's like why I don't ask like with the shit that happens between you guys, because it's like then I'm throwing myself in the middle. I mean, it's like, on the one hand, maybe I should just take ownership of the problem. Maybe the problem is like I keep expecting like you guys to work it out, but maybe I'm the only one that can like properly like sort it out for you guys.
So basically, I'm sorry, it was something along the lines of her telling her that she thinks she's a bad influence, something like that, right?
I'm sure.
So your mom's coming over still?
Yeah.
So how did Julie feel?
I guess that was her attempt at kind of kung fuing her via text.
But I think
like, don't show up here.
I think it emboldened my mother though, just like it emboldened me.
I didn't say it was a good idea.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know. And then like she said something about like, and then we were having like another argument about that, and I mentioned that to her, and then I'm like, when you attack my family and friends, like it doesn't make me like them less. It makes me like you less.
Right. Unless it's legitimate criticism, then that would be acceptable, you know. Right. But if you're saying nonsense, then it's nonsense.
Yeah.
But so once you told her that she hurt your mom's feelings, what did she say?
She felt bad about it, you know. And then we were talking about that, and she realized like it was a bad thing to do, you know.
Yeah. But she didn't ask for it. Unlike Julie asked for it.
And then I just told her, I'm like, you know, maybe an apology would be nice. So we'll see if she has the desire to, you know, apologize. Because it's kind of fucked up to just, out of nowhere, like, contact somebody telling them, like, assassinating their character in the middle of the night. You know, it's like, my mom was asleep.
Oh, Julie finally saying hello.
It's like a
yeah, exactly. It's like, you could have texted her. And then I told her, you know, and I talked to her about this, and I was like, look, you know, it's not that you're never going to have like difficult relationships, and like sometimes in life it's like it's clear that you are forced into a difficult relationship. It's like, but if the relationship is problematic, it's like it's even not such a bad thing if you really dislike somebody to sit down and have a conversation about how you dislike them. But I'm like, you know, you should go and have that conversation like face to face, you know. It's like, make it a real thing, you know. Don't just send somebody a text, but go and have a conversation and be honest, but like respectful, and try and work through your things, you know, and find common ground with a person. It's like, that could be a good way to do something, not like texting them in the middle of the night, attacking them, you know, because that's like, what kind of message are you sending, you know? It's not a good one. So it's like, it is the right thing to do, sort of, but not in the way you did it, and like, try it to do it better if you want to do that, if you feel like you have to do that.
Honestly, even after she insulted me and confused me, I don't hate it or anything. It became more like, at first I was annoyed, and like I said, I didn't fight back, and then I started feeling bad for her, you know. I felt like this whole thing is just like a sad situation.
It is a sad and frustrating situation.
She did a thing where she's like, in the middle of her insults, she's like, I do thank you for the presents for my son. I'm like, okay.
She's like, now back to the assassination. He loves the ukulele too. He loves that shit.
I'm glad, yeah.
One of his favorites.
I'm glad he likes it, yeah. I mean, I think, like, I hope I can always, like, at least, I'm sure Julie will get in the way for the foreseeable future, but, you know, I think, like, I can be useful to your son, you know, not just to buy him stuff, but it's nice for him to have older people who are on his side, you know?
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't like. She made some remark like that. You guys like do like are worth nothing to him, and I was like, that's not true at all. Like my friends are like cool people, you know. They're like cool people to know. Like that's why I hang out with them, you know.
I mean,
They're not losers.
A lot of
good
things
enough for the hen, or the goose, or
Yeah,
one of those people.
one of those farm animals. Yeah, I mean, like, I've been bitter a lot, and I'm still bitter at times. And I mean, like, it's so clear that so much of what she says is just, like confused bitterness that has no real grounding, you know?
Yeah.
But there's truth to what she says, but yeah, there's so much added, like, unreasonable hatred to it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I am an egomaniac, but, you know, it's like, it wasn't communicated properly, you know? You can criticize me about that. Legitimately, like you're saying, you could have a conversation with somebody more legitimately about what's wrong with them, or you can just curse them off and be like, "Fuck you, you're stupid, you're ugly, I hope you die." You know.
I think the thing is the way you started it off, and this is what I've learned from arguing with crazy girls.
Yeah.
Is you apologize for her being hurt. For you hurting her. You didn't apologize because you were wrong about what you said.
Right. Because I wasn't trying to be dishonest in that way, because I think that could be a bullshit way. Like, people perceive that as bullshit because it does sound like bullshit. And I feel like sometimes it can be bullshit. But in this case, I felt like it wasn't bullshit because I did mean what I say.
Right.
But I'm sorry that I hurt her feelings because, like I was mentioning before, she hates me more, I guess, now. But before she hated, this level of hatred came up. I think I said that because I feel like I started hurt her feelings because I could have said those things. I probably should have waited until I was less angry, and then maybe brought up one thing and talked about it face to face, little by little, or something. I could have approached it more gently, you know.
Right.
So I'm sorry in that way, but I meant what I said. So I wanted to make it clear that I did mean what I say.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I meant by it, you know. But go ahead.
I'm just saying that's not a good idea because. This is my guess, obviously, but I think when you say that, it's almost as if you're bringing up the old argument still.
Right.
And you're saying, by the way, this is all wrong. Also, you're weak for feeling hurt about it. So it's still cool, right? You know, that's how I think she perceives it. Not necessarily that you meant it that way.
I think I see what you mean. That she feels like
so
I'm saying, like,
thrown off already from the beginning.
Like I'm saying. By the way, this is all still true, but I'm sorry you're so weak that your feelings got hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's how I think.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yes.
Wow. Good study. Years of observation.
That's what you get for
the pattern emerges.
Living in the madhouse.
Maybe I should craft another apology. No, I'm kidding.
This is
second draft.
That's the problem, though. It's like you shouldn't be able to have to like think strategically about an apology, you know. And that's where I was at a lot. Like I was like strategizing words, and it's like, why am I doing this?
Like why can't you just say what you?
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, it's like, why is this? Why do I have to like plan out D-Day invasions and throw out like false flag events and send Hitler the wrong Morse code message just to try to like win this argument?
That's part of the problem too, because exactly that feeling that I feel like with not just Julie, but I guess Julie's the person of interest at the moment. But like with her, I guess we'll use her because she's a person of interest. I mean,
he did it like 50 times already. I just gave up. I was like, fuck it, yeah. Fuck it.
A lot of beepings.
Yeah. So I guess when it comes to,
I'll just tell my wife to change her name, and I'll straighten it out. You're Betsy now.
You're the wife.
Your wife said. But yeah, so what the hell was I saying? That was funny, but I forgot what I was saying.
Sorry about that. You were talking
about... Oh yeah, I feel like that's like with your wife, I think, or similar situations with other people. That feeling is really frustrating. That I feel like I can't get to the heart of things, and I have to walk on eggshells or be like, oh, this word I have to say like this, and then I put a period here. Exactly what you're saying, you know?
Yeah,
right.
So it's just like, why can't you just listen to the unfiltered truth? Because that's like you were kind of hinting before. That's my real feeling, you know? As long as I'm not like calling you names, why can't I tell you the real feeling, which is the most meaningful thing that I feel about you, and then we can go from there, you know?
Because people are can't handle that.
Exactly, but that's what I hate, and like I hate that because then you get caught up in these bullshit games, and that crucial thing gets lost. And
then you're arguing about a different, like an offshoot argument. You're having like proxy battles, and you're having a Cold War now. You're going to Vietnam and shit, and it's like, what are we fighting Russia? It's like,
exactly. And then, like you're saying, you get caught up in this trying to soften things, like, oh, you suck at cooking, but you're really nice with a kid, and you might very well be nice with a kid, but that's not what this conversation is about,
right? Yeah.
So it's just like I hate that stuff. That's like a communication problem in general,
Yeah, it is. It's hard, but I feel like, and Gus. I mean, Tony. There you go. Passive aggressive. I didn't mean to do it, but then
he deserves it.
Yeah.
He is an asshole.
You've always espoused like a kind of like keeping the edge of the truth like well sharpened,
Yeah. Good.
And letting it always like don't like dull the truth, like because that's like you. It seems like you've always treated that like a cardinal sin.
Yeah, because I think that but I feel like it is because it's not about being a dick, but then you're not conveying what you really think, so nothing is gonna get solved because you never got to what needed to get solved.
Right.
So how are you gonna solve it?
Exactly, and that's the thing. It's cowardice,
Yeah, that's
cowardice to like back down because you're afraid, and it happens all the time, and it's something I notice I do a lot too. It's like
I mean, I've done it too.
We're always taking the easy way.
Exactly.
If you look at your decisions, check them out, and you'll see like I took the easy way. I took the easy way. You keep taking the easy way out a lot of the time when you could be really working and making it better, but you don't want to do it. Why? Because it hurts to work. It makes your body hurt to work.
Yeah, like I feel like just like being offended is held at too high of a, like everybody puts it on a pedestal. Like, oh, you offended somebody. Oh no, how could you? Oh my God, it's the end of the world.
I think it's like the opposite. It's like if you haven't offended somebody, like you probably haven't like gotten into a real conversation with the person.
Exactly.
And Jordan B. Peterson mentioned that too. He talks about like real conversations.
Yeah.
And not that this is any indication to me that I feel like I succeeded or anything like that, but he's like, if somebody isn't crying like by the end of the conversation, like you probably haven't like gone deep enough, It's like it should be that. It's like you're not gonna fix the fucking problems by like dusting the shelves, You gotta like tear the fucking walls down, and like really do it.
That's a problem. That's in part like one of the biggest shames, that it's so hard to level with people on those levels.
Hell yeah. Not that I'm so good at it, but I'm trying more than ever to like do it. I'm learning what the importance of it is, because it's death. It's death if you like live with lies, If you keep lies inside of you, they kill you. They start to like kill you. I think probably that's where cancer comes from. It's people it's lies.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was literally connected, because it does stress you out, and when you're stressed, it releases, cortisol. I'm sure other fucked up chemicals that literally fuck up your body.
Yeah, right. There's got to be a connection.
That's true.
Between liars and no, but we're all guilty of it. Why?
I'm guilty of it too. Yeah, because I don't. The problem, even like
James says, all cancer patients are dirty liars.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, and also like, I think a lot of the time when you say those things too, I have a lot of experience saying stuff like that, and of course I have a lot of experience being a coward too. But people always take it as an attack, so it's hard to. Like back a long time ago, I said that a comedian, that Jim Norton comedian that I mentioned a while ago, what I mentioned that he said it once, and it's useful to say again that when somebody's offended, pretty much nobody ever says, how come I got offended? They immediately think, oh, somebody offended me. They're wrong. Now I have to attack them.
Yeah.
Nobody says like, maybe I'm an idiot for being offended, But that's like a fundamental issue,
It's like, I told this to my students. You think that like we identify our ideas as like extensions of our physical body, and it's like if I come at one of your ideas, it's like I'm just coming for you,
Yeah.
And people respond in that way, really, It's like you attack their idea, you attack their identity. If I destroy one of your ideas, there's like a huge hole in your identity now, and you got to repair it somehow.
Yeah, I would go even as far as saying that even if I grant you, which maybe I would be willing to, that I am attacking your identity, then we'll change your identity if it's wrong,
Yeah.
Like you can change your identity. It's a lot of work and stuff, but then change your identity. Your identity sucks, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's what I realized, you know, and whatever the hell your name is, Eric, you helped me like identify that with that beautiful analogy.
What'd I say?
And then
tell me my beauty.
Tell me how beautiful.
Before I forget.
That you know, you wouldn't accept like the natural state of your body just left to its own devices. That wouldn't be a healthy body. You have to
right.
So why would you treat your psyche the same way? It's like your psyche, it's like probably left to itself would probably deteriorate just as equally. It's like, why shouldn't you work on that? And I mean, that might be just a good sounding analogy, but it seems and feels like it's very true. Because then one of my students was like, she was on this like positivity kick as she was walking out the door, and she was like, everything, you know, just let these things go. And then I was like, aha, let me bring this up. I'm like, well, what if you can't let certain things go? Because they're part of your like identity, you know, and you need to like sort that out.
Exactly. That's why I hate that. That's like a delusional positivity that I hate. I think positivity is good, but it has to be grounded in, you know, the good things, I guess. You know, it can't just, like you're saying, like a lot of people I think I've done this, you know, just brush it to the side, you know, just look at the bright side of it. Like, I think that's a terrible idea a lot of the time. Like the actual bright side would be you take in the problem, you solve it, and then your life is actually better. And that's the positive outcome, you know, not right. Pretending like something is
good when it's not.
Yeah.
That's so true, man.
Yeah, you have to have some grounding too on your thought work.
Yeah.
You really have to think about things. Because remember how I brought up in the trip, did I bring it up with you, where I wrote the sign?
Yeah, and you used it as like a totem.
Yeah, but I think the only reason I can do that is because like I hit like the bottom already, but I was able to like remake everything and kind of like put myself back on good grounding.
Right.
It's like I know the ground is there, you know, because I've hit it, so it's like my feet are firmly planted.
Yeah, you have to.
I can't just have that emptiness, that empty sign without like anything else. That sign is like meaningless to anyone else.
Yeah, you have to have a real foundation, you know. Yeah, that's why that's in part why, you know, I guess ties into complaints about work, you know, because that's like a big place where you can get to the heart of things. You know, it is a lot of just accept this, just look the other way. You can't really say this, you know. It's just like the business is worse because you're all phonies, you know.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's hard, you know, but you know what? Just got to do it.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it. Like you were saying too. It's like get in the habit of doing it.
And it is a hard balance to strike, but it is, you have to be careful. Like, it's not about being an asshole or just saying anything, you know. It isn't about that either, you know.
No.
So it is hard. Because I do have a tendency to go off the hinges with it too, you know. But yeah, it's bizarre. I don't know. I do wish your wife well, you know, and I don't hate her or anything. I would still be willing to be friendly with her. If she, you know, I told her, you know, if you change your mind, let me know, you know. I'm not going to hold my breath. I didn't say that part.
I appreciate that.
I feel the same, but I get discouraged from ever even trying to message her from all these
yeah.
secondary stories.
You're gonna wake up to like a string of texts from her.
Oh my god, I'll wait till the other foot, you know, comes. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's funny. Oh.
And you committed the least egregious offense, if anything, you know, because I told her like, you know, cutting things, you know.
Yeah,
you didn't.
You just made what she thought was an off-color joke.
Yeah.
About like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're still in the shit list.
I'm still paying for it. It's like, damn, yeah.
Look, imagine where I am if you're still in the shit list. I'm like, the depths of hell.
Yeah.
I'm trapped in a cage, like being guarded by a bloodhound.
You gotta pass like Cerebrus, I guess.
I couldn't imagine how much Julie hates him. It must be a lot, you know. It must be quite a bit. You said 3 out of 10. I think like maybe that was true, but now it's like probably back to a 7 at least.
Yeah. You know how in Dragon Ball, like there would be a strong enemy, and you're like, wow, this is the strongest enemy there could ever be, and then like a bit later, it's like, oh wow, this guy's even makes you think I'm like shit. It's like that's you to yourself constantly throughout time.
Yeah.
I feel like you become like the stronger villain somehow. You've like surpassed your old level. It's like us. It's like the ultimate evil. It's like, and then a week later, it's like,
oh, okay.
It's like even stronger than before in evilness letter.
Yeah.
To her at least.
All right. If you don't mind, I just want to ask Tony the same philosophical question I asked you yesterday.
Okay.
And do you think it's a sin to pursue eternal life?
A sin.
A sin.
Why a sin though? Why do you frame it as a sin, or why is that?
Is it like a crime against nature?
Oh, because it's so unnatural.
I guess.
I don't know if it's a sin. I never thought about it that way. I guess I thought about it is there's like I think like
or is it hubris, or is it ultimately like a bad thing? I guess
I think there's an arrogance to it that I think everybody has, including myself, that you think you're more worthy than you are. Like in your head, you're the most important person. Just like in my head, I'm the most important person. But really, like people that there is a lot of truth to that argument. Like in the grand scheme of things, like you're not that important, you know. Like nobody really cares about you in the plural sense, you know. You, me, Eric, you know. Nobody's walking around. Oh, you know, how do I help Ian, you know, or how do I help James, you know. And I think so. There is an arrogance to thinking that like just you kind of by saying wanting to live forever, it's almost like you're tacitly saying that you deserve that, or you know, you should be around this long. I think, you know, like when that you kind of just pulling that out of your ass. So I think there is some arrogance to it, but that's just like a human arrogance, I think. But
a weak human arrogance.
The biggest thing I would say about it is I don't know why you would want to live forever. Like I don't think. I hate to say it too, but hopefully this will change when better things happen to me, if they happen to me. But I don't think life is that good. So I don't I certainly wouldn't want to live forever. Like I'm glad I'm gonna die. I'm sure I'll be scared. I don't want to die right now. I do hope my life becomes better. I hope one day that I wouldn't say that, you know, and I would be like, oh, I wish I could live forever, you know.
Is that what you're working towards?
But to working towards wishing to live forever.
You wish you could wish.
No, yeah. It's like when you wish, you're gonna keep working on your life until you feel like it's worth living.
I think even worth living, it's hard to even say that. Like I'm like on the fence about even that, you know. So, which is maybe overly dark, but like that's like what I would personally honestly say. I'm on the fence about life being worth living, and I'm definitely don't think that I definitely don't want to live forever as it stands, you know.
So is that a sin or is it not a sin?
So I don't think it's a sin because that seems like overly dark.
If you don't like that word, you can say.
Is it like wrong?
Is it naughty?
I think that like, you know, it isn't. As it stands, if I would personally say that it would be a terrible idea to want to live forever because life isn't that good to want to live forever. It's so awful to the point that I'm glad I'm gonna die, and that like if anything is true, it's that, you know. Of course, there's niceness and everything, but yeah, it's like the good doesn't override the bad, you know. If the best you're gonna get is like for me at least so far is being on the fence about is it worth it, you know, like on the fence. So I would say it's a terrible idea to want to live forever because life isn't good enough to want that, but it's also arrogance. Yeah, and that's what I would say. I guess. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but yeah, again, like I'm trying to now. As I say that, I'm trying. Like my instinct now is to.
Oh, you think you hurt me because you say you don't want to live forever?
No, but no. My instinct is to try to like lessen that. You know, I don't want you guys to think, oh, I'm overly dark or something. Like my instinct is to try to like please you, right?
Right.
Like we were talking.
But you're not really, but you really. That's just
what
solid. Like deal with it. Then.
Yeah, that's what I actually think.
So is that a yes?
So it's.
It sounds like a yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess for your purposes, yeah, I would say it's a bad idea.
Okay. It seems to be.
That's 2 yeses.
I asked my wife. It's 3 yeses actually.
So we all think it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I thought it was a sin.
So yeah, I guess sin. I got.
But that's
fuck it, sin. Fuck it.
I think the reason I use the word sin is because I feel like the idea of sin is that like it's a crime that violates like reality. You know, it's like you're going against like the fabric of reality when you're sinning. You know,
I mean, you could fuck someone's wife, and then it's like,
okay,
it's a sin, right? But are you disrupting the fabric of reality?
Yeah.
I guess not literally. I'm thinking like a wormhole appears like the second you penetrate it. Like...
But wait, think about it. You know, a wormhole does appear. It's a wormhole down a different universe of possibility, right?
Oh yeah, true.
So you're creating a different reality by the results of your actions.
But so you why do you think it's a sin?
I didn't say if I thought it was.
What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think?
Do you want to live forever?
I thought about
Sinful, naughty boy.
But I want to share with you guys like how I came to this question, you know. so I was walking home and I was like, I was getting just really like, I just been doing something. I forget where it was coming from. Maybe work. But I felt like really fucking confident. And I was like, I know like what I need to do. You know, it's like I know how I need to act and I know the choices I should be making. And I was thinking about like my goals, you know. And I was like, all of my goals have been so like, conservative. Yeah, small. My goals are just so like pathetic, really. You know, it's like I haven't been living up to my vision at all. And I was like, you know, yeah, this is like, and then I was like, what's the biggest thing? You know, it's like, this is like, because I was like, first I wanted to just be an artist, right? And I was like, I'm going to paint. I'm like, no, now what I want to do is like, I want to create a studio. I want to have like, I want to work with other people and I want to be on like the cutting edge of technology. And then like, that was my incredible, like, you know, expansive vision. And then I was like, maybe that is too small too. It's like, maybe not only is it that, but it's like, I should be at the head of like a fucking like empire of like creativity. You know, it's like, I want to not only have my studio, but like, I want to have 5 of those studios and they should all run, you know, and I can go and like, they'll just be these things. And there's a unique vision that goes with those too. And it's not about like turning it into a franchise per se and having a lot of little ones, but it's about like I passed a vacant building on Park Ave and I was like, oh, this, every time I pass like a vacant commercial space now, I'm like, oh, this could be it, you know, like this could be our space. And then I'm like, you know, I think about, oh, it'd be good for this, it'd be good for that. And this was a pretty big building that I passed. And I was like, yeah, this could work though. You know, it could be this on this floor and like different teams. And then just like going in there and just like checking in on the teams. It's like, what are the teams up to? You know, and it's like, now it's like, I'm not even an artist anymore. It's like, I'm a curator for like incredible artistic ability.
So then you're an architect.
Yes. In a sense, like, yeah, that's it. You know, to the higher plane, I'm taking this. It's like, that's where I'll be. And then I'm like, no, but it's not just the enterprise. It's not just the work. It's the power that comes from it. And it's like, what can be more powerful? It's like my children, like I'll have 10 children. All of my children will inherit my power, you know, and I'll give like all the, like I'll develop such a power. And then I thought about like, and we're going to go to Mars too. And this is an opportunity for my children, you know, like I'll give my children the power and they can help like take that planet. And like I could own in my blood like a whole planet or a good portion of the planet the way the planet is owned now. And I was like, that's a vision, that's a dream. And then I was like, hey, I'll live forever. I'll find a way. No, because it occurred to me, I'm like, we live in a time with like medical research that like if I make enough money and I take care of myself well enough, I might live forever. Like technology could promise me like maybe 100 more years on my lifespan. I'm like, and that's what I'm going to do. That's my fucking dream. I'm going to be so rich and so fucking powerful that I run a planet and live forever. And I'm like, that's going to be the ultimate vision. And then I thought about that and I was like,
still be married to when all this happens?
She could live forever too, you know?
You sure about that?
It depends. But that's the thing though. Then if that's the goal, it depends. It's like, I can't like, she's got to be stronger then if we're going to do it. I can't be catering to that and trying to live forever, you know. It's like
you should come to her with this proposition.
I'll be like, look. Mars, like a PowerPoint with like Mars, like shuttle. It's like invest, live new technology.
But so then you came to the question of is.
But then I was like, whoa, I'm like Satan right now, you know, like I'm Lucifer, you know, kind of. I didn't think about that until now.
I saw your gorging penis of male,
and that's what I felt like. Like I was like,
male.
just be like death, like taking over everything.
You sound like the Warhammer mythology, where there's the God Emperor that lives like 10,000 years, and he's like in a chair decrepit and stuff.
Yeah, that's basically me.
So do you think it's a sin?
All right, here's my, it seems clear that the human moral response is like that it's a sin.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought, like, what if that, like, human response is, like, all too human, so to speak, you know? And what if that's just, like, a byproduct of, like, the human psychology that can be transcended by a change in attitude, basically?
So beyond human.
Yes.
Last time we talked about beyond women. Now it's...
You know, I haven't had those specific thoughts attached to that. So you basically think that you're kind of on the fence about it being a sin or not? basically.
It seems like it's very clear that it's like a sinful thing.
Because it's too like grandiose.
It's not the grandiosity of it, because I feel like it doesn't need to be grandiose.
I think it's just unfamiliar.
Yes.
If everybody was doing it, it'd be like, of course I live forever.
Because, dude, there are people, really, like, people working on technologies right now that could potentially, like, end aging.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows if, you know, the actual logistics of that, you know?
30 years, dude. Think about this. Yeah. It's like, think about we're in good shape. We're taking pretty good care of ourselves now, right? So that means by the time we're in our 50s or 60s, there might be, that technology might be good enough to salvage us.
You could be as old as Larry David forever.
Yeah.
Cure our colon cancer.
Right? Or whatever. Replace our shit, you know, stem cells and stuff.
Yeah, but
Robo man.
What makes you question that it might be a sin then if it's not the grandiosity?
It's because it's like death should go with life. Isn't that the case? Like, isn't that like the nature of being that like for
that's what make life interesting.
I mean, like,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, like, I said that I do think, like, I was saying that, you know, I wouldn't want to live forever because life isn't good enough for that, right?
Right.
But if it could be transformed in those grandiose ways that you're saying,
yeah,
then I would have to reevaluate, you know. Then if I saw that, I would be like, you know, I'm getting this amazing out of this world stuff happening, then I would likely change my mind, you know. I'm saying as life is now, hell no, you know?
Right.
But if what you're saying could be a possibility, or if we could make it into a possibility, then obviously I would likely change my mind.
And that's kind of my idea, is like you work in the, like, you're working hard in the service of like good. I mean, this is like, I'm not trying to dominate with war, you know. I would love to like make my like to earn my place in humanity or prolong my place in humanity through like the good I do, you know? Which of course this whole thing is just like stinks of hubris, you know?
The issue is like people like will oppose you, you know?
Of course, but that's the thing. It's like everyone is always opposing everyone, you know? But there are those who win the opposition and those who lose the opposition.
Yeah. You do have to, I guess, crush people ethically.
Or I don't know, ethically is one way to do it, but
I guess you can be, if you have the power, I guess some people over in history, it's mostly been through asshole means, like, this is mine, no, this is mine, well, I'm gonna kill you for it, and whoever won took it, you know?
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah.
So, but you think you would be willing to do something like that, like just like obliterate someone?
No, that wouldn't be my game. That's not how I would play.
Right.
You would want to obliterate death.
I would obliterate death.
You would want to
obliterate.
Someone's getting obliterated.
Yeah.
But you would want to gain this, I guess, power without hurting others.
Yeah, just do it through like merit, you know, like not through manipulation or coercion, but through merit. You know, it's like doing things that like, but just think about it. Like that's like the kind of model of capitalism anyway. It's like you have this great idea, like to the top. You know, it's like go up there and do it. You know, hopefully, obviously, it's more like natural selection. I think.
Yeah.
That is the way to think about it. Capitalism is a kind of form of natural selection. And it's just about like being adaptable enough that you get selected and allowing yourself to continue, right? But that's why I took it to its ultimate conclusion. I was like, this financial game, this professional game is really just a part of the game of life in the end. And so like, what is the ultimate game of life? To live, right? So that would be the ultimate objective, would be eternal life. And then, of course, I thought about that. It's like, well, maybe eternal life is like, it's about continuing, you know, it's about procreating, having children. And then it's like, well, then how do you set them up, you know? So it's like, if I have 10 children and each of them has like a whole nation, it's like, well, I'm probably going to be around for a while.
Go ahead.
And then it goes back to the Bible. You think about that, and it's like Abraham is the father of nations, right? And it's like all his children are literally fathers of nations, where it's like, one goes on to settle this area, which becomes those people, and blah, 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 blah. And like, he really does populate the earth with his progeny, which obviously is a metaphorical thing. But if you trace the idea back, it makes sense in terms of natural selection, because that is what would happen.
Yeah, I was thinking, I've had similar ideas of, you know, you're saying, well, right now it might seem like a sin in some way, but that's a very human thing to say, right? Sometimes I wonder those things with I haven't had those thoughts, but I wonder those things with other things, you know, because I'll think like, something like sleeping with multiple women, right? That seems immoral, but it seems immoral because I'm a person and I've been brought up by this and I'm wired like this, you know? if in some other reality, similarly to different reality that you're suggesting, maybe that wouldn't be immoral and that would be perfectly fine, you know? And everybody would be happy to do that, let's say, you know?
Yeah.
Or like there would be, let's say, you can just like flip a switch and you're out to this sexual session, I don't get pregnant, beep. Everybody's immune to STDs. Some reason morality changes and somehow people just fuck more freely without the psychological issues that come along with doing that.
There's like a fuck gong in the middle of the street.
It's like,
7 p.m. every day. It's like bong. It's like bong. Wherever you're at, it's like musical chairs. You just rip off your clothes and look at the closest person next to you.
That sounds like a good Rick and Morty like.
But you know what I mean? Like like a lot of things, because it does seem wrong, and maybe it is wrong under these circumstances.
That's a good way of looking at it. And I was going to bring up two things as you were even talking about that. It's like, is it the Mormons that have multiple wives?
Yeah.
A lot of different people actually practice polygamy.
Yeah.
You don't have multiple husbands though.
No, I don't know if that's ever been seen.
So we're good though.
But polygamy, and then the second thing you talked about, where you were saying like press a button, beep, and they can't get pregnant. It's like that actually happened as well with the birth control pill, and that is probably what fueled like the sexual revolution of the 60s.
Romans too.
Yeah, but that's a little haphazard, you know.
But I think it's like. There's evidence of those things happening. It's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like the moral standards shifted dramatically when like a transformation in conditions changed, when they changed it. But again, though, you could argue, and I think this is the kind of thing Jordan B. Peterson argued, it's like you still don't understand. It's like you might think that you can get away with doing that, but you're going to see that it's like you can't get away with doing that. You know,
as it stands.
As it stands, right? But you think you're getting one up on reality, so to speak. But it's like. You know, by doing that, you don't see you're changing, and there's an undercurrent that's going to like completely destroy everything because of that.
Right? Yeah. Still, as it stands, yes. Because if you do have sex, like right now, I could sleep with multiple women if I went on Tinder, but I mean, it would be annoying, you know, that the process and all that, which I hate. But I could do it probably.
I could do it though.
But then, then I have to pay. Like, then I would feel bad, and like then the risk of my health, you know, like so.
But that's only because you're so programmed to conform to the current laws of reality. That's why you would feel all of that. If you were what are those people, a sociopath or whatever? Would you be able to move like without resistance, like through all of those moral difficulties?
Right, but even then, I would hurt people in the process, right?
But you wouldn't care if you were a sociopath,
right? I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. Yeah, but I'm saying like there could be a reality where I'm not hurting others or myself, and it's actually a good thing. Let's say, you know, like it just sounds ridiculous now, and it is. Because of how things are, you know, like you're saying, like in your almost fantasy ultimate vision, let's say, right? A lot of things would be fundamentally different, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if a lot of things were fundamentally different, like sexually, then maybe those things could be okay, and people would be like, yeah, that's fine, you know, like I went over and I had sex with my friend's girlfriend, and I went over and I had sex with some lady I met at the store, and like nobody cares, everybody's happy, and then we all had dinner together, you know?
Wow.
So like. And it's not psychologically disturbing to anyone, let's say.
Maybe that could be your ultimate vision. Maybe together we can make a new world together.
The Martian sex cult.
Live forever. Fuck everything.
You worry about...
different departments. All right, guys, we're going to pause the podcast here while we work out our doomsday plan.
I'll be in the sex department. You take care of like the living forever.
Minister of Lust.
That's a good band.
We should open for Pig Bass. It's Minister of Lust. Jeff, now Eric, you gotta find your department.
Yeah, I'll think of something.
Eric, do you think it's
drug recreation?
Psychedelic exploration.
Yeah.
But do you feel like that living for everything is a sin?
Yeah, I said it was. I said it was greedy, and greed is a sin. So
is that what the?
That's my implications of it.
But did you get like a resonance from like reality? Like it
was like the immediate answer.
Yeah. It was clear.
Yeah.
Because you're asking for too much, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's already. I think obviously I was on something, so your mind's like hyper trained, and when I saw you. You explained it for a long time, and I was like, he's not saying yes or no, and I was like, that's the power of that thing, though. It's just like, it just hones in to like the pinpoint answer sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like immediate. It was like I was also on my phone, so I couldn't like really type a lot. So I needed like the one word answer.
Medium is the
I
message.
was like greedy.
What did you guys think about, like, what about
Fortune
living
cookie answer.
living forever as life is now? Like, if it couldn't be dramatically altered, let's say, right? Would you want to live forever?
Like in my circumstances, or
No, your circumstances can still change, but the fundamentals of life aren't going to change. Like, people are more like, how things are now. There's stores, people go to work, you have one girlfriend, there is no grandiose empire.
I think I could get like.
You do get,
I'll find some pleasure out of it.
Oh, yeah.
But so you would.
I'll figure it out.
As it stands now, you would choose to live forever.
Well, as of right now, living life is probably a lot better than not being alive. So I'm gonna keep doing that for the most part.
So yes.
Yeah. So I think so.
Would you?
Yeah, of course. I
So-
mean, I'm the one trying to like keep this thing going. I'm like serious, I mean, y'all motherfuckers gonna be old. I'm gonna be living.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I wouldn't want to live forever.
I mean, obviously, it's like maybe forever would be too long. I'm sure something would kill me at some point. Like I like the idea is like also that.
One of your sons.
Yeah, right. Son of a bitch.
Yeah,
But like,
the first blood to spill on Martian
That
soil.
maybe that would be appropriate. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe to die in that way would be a great way to die.
Yeah.
but then,
You know?
then I mean, like, then it gets weird because I say definitely not. But then that's
This
because
is like a good like Dune sequel or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about that.
But
I was like,
it's okay.
James Castle, first Emperor of Mars.
But I say that because I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm thinking like of the consequences of doing that as it stands, because everybody else would die, right? So like, what are you imagining here?
It would. I'm imagining like pushing it towards utopia, like getting on Elon Musk's level of like doing shit.
Yeah.
It's like, is Elon Musk maybe like wrong in some of this stuff he's doing? Definitely, But at the same time, he's like his vision like so far surpasses everybody else. Like everybody else is just doing like okay, like they're dusting the shelves, But he's like, no, new world, like. We're talking like the jump from Europe to the Americas is like gonna be like, I think from the country, I can't even, I'm so fucking American. I'm like, like the world. I'm trying to say the world, but I keep saying the United States. The world is to the Mars, like that. I feel like you're gonna have like a paradigm shift of that magnitude, like when we start like leaving the planet, because we're going to leave this planet. We can't like all stay on the planet the way it is. So either two things could happen. It's like we dramatically reform everything, which in any result would require probably reducing the population on planet Earth. Like you can't have the population keep continuing to grow.
I think the population is actually fine.
For now.
It's like you could fit everyone on the planet. I think, where was it? Texas? And it'd be pretty much just as spacious as like New York City.
Yeah.
It'd be like that. And you could set up everyone in the world in just Texas.
No way. Who told you that?
Look it up, man.
I'm not just gonna look it up. I'm just but imagine, come on, dude. What's that gonna be living like?
I'm just saying there's still space though.
Okay, but it's not the space really. It's not. That's not the primary
resources.
concern. It's the resources themselves. Like we all can't live like Americans. Every person on planet Earth can't live like an American.
Yeah, I think eventually the sun is gonna eat it's gonna become bigger and eat, like the Earth will be too hot for us.
Yeah, but that's like in like 8 billion years.
We have time
right.
for that.
But I'm saying that eventually, I mean, like we have.
It's
to
going to come down to it one way or another.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Unless we somehow can block that or like move the sun, like they like chain it up and somehow move it, or whatever the hell they're gonna do. But yeah, I don't know. It's so bizarre. I guess I'm thinking like maybe I'm thinking too small, because I'm thinking like.
Yeah, that's why, man.
No, I'm thinking too
Black
small.
hole generator to move the sun.
No, but I'm thinking too small in terms of my goals as much as I'm thinking too small in terms of. I don't know if I am or not. This is the question, because I'm wondering how far is technology going to go in our lifetime, right? Like when we're 50, would it really be realistic that maybe we can add 50 more years to our life? Is that really realistic? Because I don't know.
Like
100
110
now.
and shit.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, okay, let's say if I make it to 100, it's like pretty much impossible to make it to 150. Could it, like when we're let's say when we're 50, will it realistically be possible that somebody can easily live to 200? Like I highly doubt that, but I don't know.
You don't know.
What if maybe it's like, yeah, no, we don't, We've seen amazing things happen before.
It's weird because amazing things have happened that we wouldn't think of. Like if you told somebody 100 years ago there's going to be iPhones and you describe it to them, they would think you've lost your mind, you know?
Yeah, they wouldn't even know like how to begin thinking about what you're talking about.
Yeah, so but then like some other things that they say are going to happen didn't happen, you know?
Sure.
Like, oh, everybody's going to have a flying car and we're going to have all this amazing, like, you know, it's still, none of that, it really came true. But like a lot of things that we didn't even imagine did come true.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some talk or something, somebody talking about it. What is a realistic expectation for technology? Or is it so crazy that you can't even know, you know?
Yeah.
You got to think about, too, people that are 110 now were born in the 1900, like 1903.
Yeah.
You know, that's a long-ass time. Like, that's 2 world wars.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Korea, Vietnam, all that stuff. They had the diet from back then to, like, sustain them now.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So if you think of
That's pretty crazy.
people that were in our generation, let's say the 80s, there was someone out there who had like a good living and they already have some nutritional knowledge and all that stuff, and they were brought up in a good life. So somebody within our age range could potentially make it a lot farther still because we have better opportunities. But then of course there's also people eating just McDonald's chicken nuggets all day.
Yeah.
You know, they're not necessarily going to make it to 150. So I guess there's that to influence it as well. Maybe food was also better back then, and that'll offset all the weird stuff that should have happened.
And also it depends on your resources. You know, like if you're a rich guy, you can, you know, you might have access to things, and you definitely do. Most people won't have access to. You know, or like if new technology comes out, the poor people aren't gonna get it.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be like at the front of the line for this. You can't
like Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk is, you have to be like to do things that he's doing. Like that is billionaire status. Like you do, like let me change transportation in the whole country. Like he's trying to like build tunnels and shit, right?
Right.
So like he can do stuff like that. But that's like the ultimate people are doing that, you know?
Yeah, you can't buy a ticket to Mars with your food stamp.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
you're not gonna sneak on like you do like NJ Transit. It's like I'll make it one stop before they throw me off. Like I'll make it to Mars.
All the poor people waving
Stowaways actually is what they're called.
All the poor people waving goodbye to the rich people going to Mars. It's like we burn to death. You know?
That's a great idea for like a matte painting, like a concept art painting.
That would be good.
Oh man.
Rich people always they always win, you know?
Yeah.
Didn't that happen in The Simpsons? One of the Simpsons episodes when they go to space?
And they left the poor people.
Elon Musk, I haven't even looked that deeply into him, but obviously he's like...
I don't think you need to.
He's an insane person in a good way, you know?
Yeah.
Somebody needs to.
They'll keep his ass alive. They'll like... Yeah. I'm sure he's got a lot of money in it already, trying to...
He's actually 300 years old, but nobody knows.
He's a fucking vampire.
You know how he lives that long? He's a pedophile. Keeps him young.
Oh no!
That's like the bad thing. It's like, oh.
Is Alan?
No,
Alex Jones. Is he having pegged as one of the vampire? I said he was a vampire too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You know, like
imagine
if Alex Jones told me.
Countess Bathory, that song by Venom.
The chick that used to bathe in blood.
She's real, right? Yeah. She was a real. So I mean, it's not such an original idea. It's just our technology has got a little more sophisticated. Where in the past you would just like murder a bunch of young people,
soak your bread in blood and eat it, like Vlad. I think he used to do that too.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
That's gross.
I wonder what kind of habits Elon Musk has. He's like a 2 minute
bathing in it is, I guess, a bit better, right?
Oh my gosh.
Absorbing it through your skin instead of through your mouth. Imagine how like metallic it smells, right? No, it's a pool of blood.
Disgusting.
It's like in your orifices.
I can't imagine people do that.
That is fucking
Girl,
gross.
you nasty.
I hate blood stuff, like anything like that.
Countess, you crazy.
This is what we're dreaming of now.
A blood in the orifices. Okay.
That's why it's a sin, because that's the image associated with it. You're some crazy countess, bathing in the blood of young whores.
Yeah.
Or whoever it was that she was killing.
I need some more whore blood.
I was gonna say, I wonder.
More whore blood, please.
Wait, are you guys into? Do you find blood appealing?
No. Usually it means something has gone wrong.
True. Yeah, I'm not big on blood at all.
Yeah.
And I think it looks cool in movies, when somebody explodes, a bunch of blood comes out, and Mortal Kombat, when you uppercut somebody. things like that.
Fatalities.
That's about it. Yeah, like in real life, I'm not like big about it. Sometimes, like when I used to have nosebleed, I let it run and like, like I
just for dramatic effect.
yeah, like I've been through the war, you know. But other than that,
like you're the guy from Doom, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So he gets more beat up in that little
yeah.
tower. He looks like shit. He's all like,
yeah. But that reminds me, like when you bleed, apparently your body instantly starts to heal the wound, right?
Yeah.
It's a really complicated process. I'm sure there's like a whole book on the whole process, right?
see, your body's busting its ass, and you don't even want to try and help live forever. You know, look how hard your cells are working.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like I wish like the mind has some elements of that, but I wish it was at a higher level. Because, when there's a problem, it's hard to solve complicated problems. I wish it would just magically, like,
Well, maybe it's like this.
that's what the machines are gonna do.
Yeah, right. Nanobots, go! But, alright,
Machine, bro.
here's a kind of analogy for you. Let's say you had a cut, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you kept doing this, and you kept poking at it with your finger.
Right.
Because you wanted to look at it, and you
Right.
wanted to understand it, and you tried to... You're poking. You're always poking at it. And then, is it going to heal if you keep poking it?
No, or it'll take way longer.
So maybe with your mental scar or your mental wounds, there's a similar thing happening. It's like, because like we're with the mental wound, we keep staying with it, and in a sense we keep perturbing the healing process.
So we should ignore all our problems.
Yes, exactly.
But you should heal them
knew it.
properly.
Or maybe that's like, it's credence to the idea of like detachment in the Buddhist sense, where it's like you can like let things take their natural course. But I think maybe you need to understand too, and I think that's like an important part, and Jordan B. Peterson would say that, it's like when you have like an experience that hurts you and damages you, you have to like resolve it somehow. Like you have to come out of it with like a plan for the future about how you can protect yourself, or else you're always going to be like trapped in the uncertainty of it because it'll remain a mystery to you, right? And you'll always know that like a mystery is like lurking and there's danger in that. So to kind of go back to the analogy, it would be like if you got shot with an arrow, it's like you have to remove the arrow before the healing process can begin.
Yeah.
But once you've set the conditions for the healing process to begin, like don't put your finger in the arrow hole, like let that shit close up. So maybe that's like the thing. It's like when you have like a mental distress, it's like perhaps some flying chunk of being, like some shrapnel came in and gassed you open, but it's like still like lodged in there. It's like we have to dislodge that and then allow the healing process to begin.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. I think I have some broken glass still stuck in my brain.
Yeah.
There's a few shards in there.
That's just my like thinking.
Yeah, I think that's true.
It feels like a good thought.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and
I'm
declare
learning
that the
more
truth.
from you. Yeah, that's the Eric principle. It's like if you can make a really good metaphor out of it, it's probably true. It is like Occam's razor
Prove me wrong
and
with a
Eric's
different metaphor.
Eric's metaphor. It's like if you could form a good metaphor, it's probably true. If you could find an analogy in something else, then you're good.
This was a good one. I think we should begin.
Yeah. How long do we go on this? I hope it's not too late. What time do you have to go to?
Like I can leave here like 1, but I want it like 12:30, 12:40.